Hello future tech leaders, I'm Sindhuja. Based on my own experience, I know that learning the right skills can shape our future. What if I say learning was as thrilled as the tech world itself? There we go. A cloud foundation, that's exactly what you will experience. From day one, you will be immersed in the interactive sessions and expert-led courses that covers most of the widely used technologies in the zone of data science to cloud computing, which brings more light to the life of a techie. I'm so excited to help you and unlock the true potential of a technology. Well, then why to wait? Let's see what it unfolds.
Today, we are going to look at dashboards in Ariba or navigation in Ariba, and then tomorrow onwards, we are going to start the sourcing module. So say today wins derived. Ariba Introduction Navigation. So we're going to look at how we log in into Ariba dashboard navigation, the today's session. Before that, any questions? Alright, so Ariba will be provided with logins with username and password. I'll just give a small brief about how the logins will happen. So these notes will be shared after the post, so you don't need to take down. So you can just observe only. So section. So you will be provided with the URL. The URL is nothing but a link, where a hyperlink where you can able to access Ariba. This is customized link. So some format of like this, your client name .sourcing.ariba.com or something like that. This is for the upstream your company name Procurement Ariba.com. This is a unique URL which will be supplied to you by the airport. With the time of installation they will be giving you. With that you will be logging into the system. So what is the first screens which you are talking about at the navigation is we can as a Ariba Spend Management sourcing site or sourcing suite Ariba production realm. Test realm, any name you call it. So it's all refers to the same page only. What are the different networks or totally different screens which we are going to see is this is on one side and second is network. So what is network? The way the suppliers and buyers will be connected, mostly your transaction procurement, purchase orders, invoices which all flow through the network. So the suppliers will be having a login into the network. Supplier Ripakam. So this is unique. This is not a unique. So any supplier can log in into. This website Subgodiribakam. They enter username and password and they will be able to go into the system, and similarly the same. We will also have buyer Ribakam. In buyer Ribakam, the buyers will be logging into the network portal. So basically you will be having one as a network and second as a Ariba Spend Management which we are going to navigate to. So this URL which I have provided is for the Ariba Spend Management. There are two type of users. Basically when your company you will be having two type of users majorly, that is enterprise users and third party users. Earlier days the enterprise users also were provided with a username and password. But now for security reason and for main simplicity, it is all linked with your corporate sign-on. What does it mean with your corporate credentials? You can able to log in into Ariba. That is one method, and this second application, authentication method, where you will be provided with, as I mentioned, URL you are going to log in with a username and password and then single sign-on. So again, single sign-on is where you are able to provide with one login, you can able to access any of the distance. So when the corporate Authentication is enabled. When you go to the Ariba site, it will ask for the corporate credentials. Once you enter it, it will log in, take you to the login page, whereas other scenario where you are provided with username and password. As I mentioned, there are two types of users, mostly the company. Employees will be created as the enterprise user. They can log in with the corporate credentials. Are single sign, whereas third-party users like Ariba, consultants like we when we want to log in. Into Ariba, we are provided with a username and password. So once you enter the URL, then system will transfer a username and password. Then you enter the username and password. It will take you to the Ariba home page. This page you can call as a home page landing page. Dashboard, Ariba dashboard. You can call any name. All refers to the same thing some people call home. Base, some people call landing base. Some people call dashboard. Then what are all the different relents we can see in Ariba? I'm talking about Ariba spin management test system and protocol. Only two systems only, unlike in ERP where you are having dev QC production. Minimum. You will be having 3 systems. As per custom requirement, you will also have 4 or 5 systems. One may be regression or one may be backup or something. You will be having so many systems. But however, in Ariba majorly around 90% of the customers will only take test system and production system. However, some suppliers or some of the customers where they want to integrate their backend system, they might also take development system, but there is no difference in test system and development system. Only this system is used to integrate your backend system. Dev with dev test, with QC production with production. So that way also possible. As I mentioned, 90% of the users or the customers will only take test and production system. Why they don't take the other one? Because it is chargeable. Ariba, if you want to take 3 reel, you have to pay money additionally. So that's the reason they only go with test and production. Now, whatever we are going to practice, that is on a test system. I will take you to the home page. Now let's go to, this is once you enter username CrossFit. This is the page which you are going to get into. We are going to explain on this page. So once you log in, this is your home page. What you see here are called individual module tabs like home tabs, sourcing, invoice and supplier management. When you click more for whatever you are having an access, you are going to see all these tabs. Suppose this user. So whatever on the right hand side that O is showing right, that is the user who logged into this system or a net12. When you go to the bottom of the page, you will also find which is the user logged in or a net12 or a net12. Or a net12 is the user logged in. What time he has logged in. The time is showing where the system has been enabled. So, Professor's RSC, this is your site. And then the latest version C3UI2, which we generally do not required in on-premise system. That is 2012 before, and so people who are using on-premise system for them, this is the version to be identified. So they are in currently C3UI2 or UVolve. So I don't differentiate. Anyway, it has no reference to it, but just for information. This is about the detail. You can look at these details of cookie statement participant, which is standard for SAP. We do not have any action on that. This is only for the information. The client logo will be available on the left hand side if you don't want to have any logo. SAP logo will be defaulted, but however, the clients will have their one because they are paying for that. They can have their login details, so it is identified easily. Then these tabs will depend upon how we are having an access. For example, you are a sourcing person where your main role is only to perform sourcing activities, then you would only see the sourcing tab only. Other tabs will not be visible to you. Since we are an administrator, we have access to all the models. That's why I'm able to navigate between all these models in the home page. This is your home page where you are going to see certain dashboard content. So these are all whatever the pictorial information you are seeing, that's called tiles. So you can only have maximum 5 tiles for a page. If I want to manage these tiles, I can go click on any particular tile and click on manage all tiles. These are all Ariba provided available tiles. You have these. Many tiles are available. These are all. The selected tiles currently available. This is an interview question as well as certification question also. So there will be a certification which is asked how many tiles can be available per dashboard. Then maximum is 5 tiles. Only you will able to have it. So what is the tiles? This will give you some pictorial information easy to understand. Suppose if I want to change, I want to have my invoices on this place, then I have to remove any one of the tile here. Then I will be getting an option to add some additional things. Maybe I will be selecting my invoices. Okay, then click on done. So the tiles will get updated with my invoices. Certain tiles you have a customization possible. For example, when I go here edit tile system, tile settings under my invoices. I have new invoices in the past number of days, 7 days. Suppose if I want to have details about new invoices for last 30 days, then I click OK. Now the tile will show last 30 days of the invoice detail. For certain tiles, we don't have a modification, not possible. For example, here I will not able to modify any of the settings. Whatever it is showing, that is only. And you will also see when you mouse over, the last update is 84 If you want to have the current data or the latest refresh, every 6 minutes, the data will get updated every 6 minutes. If you want to push before that, click on this refresh button. Then your tiles will get refreshed with the latest one. Now you would see 8.15. As per our system time 8.15, all the data has been updated. On the left hand side, common actions. So common actions, we have a create and manage button. This is same thing what you see here. Also create and manage button. This will allow to go to. Create option will give you to create any of the documents or the projects in Ariba. In Ariba, even the quotation is also called project. Creation of a contract is also called project. So don't get confused. I don't think that it is a big project that we want to do it. Even a simple quotation request, also called as Ariba. That is how Ariba nomination nomenclature is available. So we'll be calling each one. Say for example, sourcing project contract workspace. This is also a project only supplier request project. Everything is called as a project only. We're going to come to this one. So main edge is the area where you are going to access some administrative activities. For example, when I clicked on main edge administration, that's mostly for the parent or the sourcing related configuration. Core administration is for buying and invoicing. Or downstream. Upstream, you will be having under administration, core administration, you will be having under downstream related configuration. So when I clicked on core administration, I do get certain additional options of managing my data or managing some administrative activities like site manager, integration manager, user manager, customization manager, where you manage transaction related to. For example, if I want to control on user data, then user manager is the permission, so users, other user information groups. Multi-factor authentication, approval queue, data input and delegation. You have data input here. You have data input here. What is the difference? Site manager is the global level where you are having a more administrative rights, you will get access to site manager. So when I go to data, import and export. Say for example, I am going here and clicking on data import, I would be seeing so. Many options are available, so I can able to import user data. I can able to invoke invoice exception. These are all going to come to in detail after certain time, either master data or transactional data you can able to manage via this administration. However, when I go to the user manager, click on data import and export, I would only see the data related to user zone. When I click install same, I only seeing 5 or 6 tasks which are related to users only. So if I provide a user with the permission of user manager, he will get access to this. And he will only access data import and export. However, if you are giving permission as a site manager, mostly for customer administrator, we have a lot of access to the import and export. So both are same only. You're accessing this enterprise users from here or going here and searching for enterprise users. Both are same only. Only based on your permission, you will be having restriction on the data. We'll talk about more when we go here. Now I want to go back. When you are in a core administration, if you want to switch to administration, click on administration. Mentioned administration related to upstream and upstream related to sourcing contract SLP. So when I go here, I will be seeing one project manager. Using this option, I can able to import legacy. Contracts are part of upstream, so I will be having option under administrator under project manager. I have an option to import legacy contracts. Now recent, once you create any document or you have an access to some document that will be available in your recent tab. This is easy too. Instead of going for a search, and you can able to access from recent tab, that is recent option. The same thing which is also available on the tile as a recently viewed tab. You can also access from here also. Then we have discussed about the tiles, we have discussed about the tabs, we have discussed about the menus. Now, if I want to customize this dashboard, I do have an options. Here by selecting this configured tab, I can able to add a content in the current tab itself. I want to add a content, or if I want to change some values, the name of the tab, I want to change it. I can click on edit properties. If I want to add a brand, new tab itself, I can also do that. So I'm having this many tabs, right? I'll be creating new tab. And I want to configure whatever I want. I don't like this way. I want to create one more tab. And I want to select items which are all interested to me. I can do that. Rearrange tab content. Compare your settings to the default settings. Reverting back to the default setting, for example, after you modified something and you want to go back to the default setting, you can use this option before you do that. If you want to compare what was your defined and what is current, you can do that in this particular setting. Now I will show you, for example, I have my documents here. To do here by selecting this item. Then when I drag and drop, I have to go here, click on edit. Properties cancel. I am able to drag it. So just when you are in a home page, if I want to drag it, I'm going to keep it this under drop here. So my to do task is available like this. My documents are available. I want the event status also. I want in the same fashion. A broader event status, I want to have it. Now, if I want to reset, I can come back here. Click on revert tabs to default settings. It will change back to the default setting. Now I will show you how do I add a tab by clicking on add a new tab. So I'm calling the tab name demo tab. Should I include all the content? That's what you are selecting. The first one, display all document types on this particular tab. Or I want to relate it to only particular tabs, maybe buyer related or contract related, device related, sourcing related. Then I can specifically select what I want to be visible in that particular tab. So currently I want to have all the tabs available under my demo tab. Click OK now. One tab will be created now. The system is asking you to configure what you want. Here, this is a pure blank tab. Now I want to have under common actions, I want to have for you. I want calendar double clicking that it will place in the area, then you can navigate and change to wherever you want to put it also. Okay, now I want to have common action 1. I will go to general here. I want to have news. Okay, I can drag that item and put it here. Or if I want here, I can put it here. If I want to go down, I can put it here. Wherever you're dropping there, that particular dashboard content will be added. The news I'm adding. I don't want the tiles action tiles. I don't need it. However, I want my documents that I want on the left hand side. I also want to have reports. When I select reports, I want to select summarized view. Then system will take you to which report you want to select. So then I might be selecting some contract workspace 2025, March this data I want to have it. Okay, then when I click OK, this data will be shown to me. Summarize review. The content data will be shown to me. Similarly, if I want to add any additional thing, I want to have event status grid. I'll bring that and put it here. Okay, I have managed my data. I'll click done. So this is what I want to have in my dashboard. If you want to add additional item, maybe I want to have recently viewed also, or this is available. I don't want to add, then again come back to the configure tab, edit property, add content. Then you can choose which one you want to add it also. So let's leave it as this. Now I have this page. Even you can drag and drop, or you can add whichever the way you want. Now one tab is available. Then you might be asking a question, if I am making a change, whether it will affect the person sitting next to me or another user. No, whatever you're doing is all called self-service. You will able to modify the dashboard as per your preference. Ariba gives that freedom that you can customize the tabs as per your convenience. There is no restriction on that. I will take a pause. Is there any question? Sanjay, I have one question. So this one can be configured by any user. Or it would be the functional consultant who can actually do it. Okay, any user can actually make changes to the tabs, right? That's correct. But the changes are only visible to him only. It is not going to be an administrator level, so that changes are only for him only. So other users sitting next to him, he will not see these changes. He will not be able to view that demo tab which I have just created. Or I have made some changes to the tile. That is not possible. It is only for that particular user. Okay, so it's nothing like new that the person is doing. Whatever is already predefined in the system that they can just amend and they can design their own dashboard. Right? Exactly. Okay, thank you. Now I will come to administrator. So administrator, he is going to configure default settings for the user because based on his experience, he will be configuring it. That can be done. That is Ariba Consulting. So when he configure that, those dashboards will be the default dashboard for that particular user when they log in. How do they do go to manage administration? He will be seeing, I think they have. Yeah. Dashboard Manager. Under Dashboard Manager, there is a dashboard templates. You can create n number of templates, okay? So template is nothing but a format how you want. the format to be available, and you can decide which group that you want to have that particular template. For example, I will select new template. Okay, now I am designing it. So you'll be having common actions here, news here, news here. Okay. So you can able to say, I don't want something. Then you can be arrange. Maybe I want to switch. I don't want this one. I am going to delete it. I am configuring a template with this name. New template written to administration page. Now the template. Which way I have configured? Where is the name? Fault valve. New template. Let's see. Select this item, add content, add tab, prearrange tab content. Once you do this, for example, I'll just add one content here. I'll add action tiles. Click on done so. I have added the tiles to the page. Configure created properties. So the name I will be keeping as home, or I will say main page. Click OK. The name has been renamed to main page visibility, sourcing and TND. I will go to visibility. I don't want this tab. I am going to delete this tab. So this is not required for all the people. Delete this tab. Click done. Even I want to have TND. Even TNE also. I don't want it. I'm going to delete this camp. Then return to administrator page. I should be seeing my name. Okay, it is in the 4th page. Okay, the one I was doing is 66. The name is the new template configure, delete and publish. So here I can able to click on edit. Now, whatever the template which I have designed, which are all the groups I want to select if a user belongs to this particular group. When he log in, he is going to see main page, not Insta home page. He is going to see that home main page. That is how I am defaulting. The administrator level, I am configuring the template and I can choose for which of the people. Say, let's say template user. If a user belongs to template user, then he is going to come. Sorry, he is going to see this particular template. If you want to make any changes, click on configure button and you can able to do that. Once I make it published, then this template will be available. If a user belongs to a template, when he log in, he is going to get the unselect configure. He is going to look like main page invoicing. These are all the tabs will be visible to him. So that is as an administrator, I am going to configure it. So since for training purpose, I have added, I don't want these two tabs, I'm deleting it. So first one, which I just discussed, is user is modifying the dashboard content, and second, that area where you go to the dashboard manager. This will be done by the Ariba consultant. So this will not be given to the end user. The end user will not be having access to the dashboard manager. I'll go back to the home page now. Let's discuss some more on the self-service options. What are the self-service option under user initials when he clicks it? He can change the password. Suppose if it is a single signer, then this option will not be available. If it is a third-party user, he has an option to change the password for training purpose. Do not make any changes to this system, because if you change or if you add any content to the user, then our account will be locked. Only for learning purpose, you use it, but don't. practice it. You can also change your secret question. This is secret question and password. Default language, what you see the language here. So when you click change default locally, so locally is English. US default currency becomes US dollar. Whenever you are creating a PR or contract workspace or sourcing, it's going to have the currency as US dollar. If you want to change that Indian rupee, then whenever you are creating a contract workspace or anything, it will be defaulted as Indian rupee that you can update under self-service menu. This is again for you only, not for the other people. Okay, now mobile device. You can also access SAP Ariba on your mobile. So you need to go to iOS or Play Store and download Ariba mobile application. Once you open the app, a 6-digit number will be visible that you have to enter here. Activate mobile device. Whatever the number you are saying that you need to enter, but however, there is 2 ways you can do that. When you from administrator, then you have to email the link by clicking that link. When you open the page, Ariba will get connected. Switch the site to. See one of the child. Build alarm. Okay, when I go back here, select activate mobile device. The password, the code which you are seeing there. Once you enter that particular code, then Procurement mobile app will be available on your mobile access. You don't need any username and password. So whatever the credentials which you are using here will be applied on your mobile also. It's a very simple activation. Once you have number of devices, if you have lost the device or you want to change, then you can come to the user profile, deactivate mobile devices, select that particular item and deactivate it. Now a few more. So before that, I'll go to the home page again. So there are, as I mentioned, sourcing side and downstream side. If you want to switch from sourcing to downstream and downstream to sourcing, click this button. So when you click this option now, this will take you to the parent side. So you can also identify whether you are in a downstream or upstream. When you see the URL name with the buyer, that's where buyer means procurement or buying and invoicing. When I go to the other side, you will be seeing as a sourcing that it will not take you to the contract or SP. Sourcing means it's in upstream, buyer means it is in downstream, that is. Why blind mark? Whenever you identify the URL, if you find sourcing, then you are in a upstream side. If you find a buyer, you are in a downstream side. Then again, I will have said more. Procurement user info. It is just a generic information will give you what are the configurations you have made. Multi-factor change notification. So here you can change the notification preferences. When the mails are coming, do you want to receive individual mails or collective mails? You are going to decide. For example, I am added to a project group. A system will send me a notification saying that, hey, you have been added as a project group. Then I am receiving a notification which I don't want to receive. Then I can remove the tick mark. Click OK. Then you will stop receiving the messages that you can control. There are 8 pages of notifications that are available. You can decide. So in support time, so when some users will be raising a ticket saying that my friend is receiving notification for all these things, but I am not receiving the notification. So you go to his user profile and verify whether he has disabled the notification. Then that is also one of the reasons. So now I have updated my user notification profiles. That is under change notification preferences. Then there is a desktop file sync. It is actually obsolete now. We are not using desktop file sync. What does it mean? In previous days, in 2012 and all, there is a desktop file sync is needed. If you want to load any file from your computer to Ariba, you need to have one ActiveX control. With that, you will able to sync the data from your computer to Ariba. Now it is obsolete. We don't need it. But if anyone is asking, then you should aware of it. So again, there is a restriction. The desktop file sync will only work on Internet Explorer only. It is not working on any other browser. Internet Explorer is also obsolete now, so you will not have it. Users are still using. This is where you are going to change the settings of your desktop files in operations. You can even see that also. Still message is there. This feature is disabled. It is available only for Internet Explorer 6 Plus only. Obviously, this is no more relevant for us. Then change dashboard preferences. It's very simple. Whenever I'm deleting some tab, it's going to ask me a question. Whether you want to receive that question or not, they have added. Show confirmation phase when deleting a dashboard tab. Show confirmation phase when deleting an item from the dashboard. Both are selected. So what it is going to do? For example, I'll go to the demo tab. When I select this button and I'll say delete tab, one warning message is giving. If you don't want this message, go to that particular setting. Remove that setting, then this will not ask. So let's do that. I'll go to settings. I think it is deleted. 10 more time. I think it's not deleted. Anyway, so that's about the dashboard preferences. You do have themes. So what you are seeing is a light theme and you can switch to blue theme. So this is a darker theme. Only two themes only available, light theme and dark theme. So why it is useful? Identify whether you are in a particular site. Maybe I will use test site one color and production site one color. So whenever I am navigation, it is easy for me to understand in which site I am there. That is one reason. As I mentioned, we are working on a test site. So you will be seeing the wording test site here. If you are in a production site, these words will not be visible. And similarly, most of the cases, after your site name, then you will be seeing the test at the end. Also in the URL, you will also find. So this is the one Professor RSA DSA APP-T. -T stands for test site. If that -T is not there, means mostly that is a production site. That way, you will identify whether it is a test site or a production site. Then we discussed about this, and we discussed about this, and we discussed about we have not discussed about help menu. If you want to take any help from SAP, this is the place. When you click on this help button, click on help center. It will take you to the Ariba help portal. Okay, you can browse through certain topics now. This help portal earlier, it is only available. By accessing like this, you should be having an Ariba account from there. When you click the help button, it will take you to this particular portal. After that, you can find the documentation related. For example, I want to know how to configure a dashboard. For example, today's topic. So when I go to here and I enter dashboard, then system will give me options. Dashboard Manager Workspace Overview. How do I modify dashboard? Dashboard tab's name. So when I click this, one system will tell me what is that you want to do. That members of the customer dashboard admin and customer administrator groups have access to the dashboard manager. This is to do for all the people, and then it is advising go to manage. Click on administration. Go to dashboard manager. Click on dashboard. Click on configure. Then you should able to modify the template which is available now. All the new users assigned to this dashboard template will see the updated new section. Similarly, there are other suggestions also will give. You can go through those documents and you can explore also. However, this help portal has been made public. You don't need any login detail and access it. Just go to Google and put it help subcom. And then it will take you to the Ariba help page. From there, you can learn additional topics from your own also. Now switch back to Ariba. These are all very simple. Whenever you are receiving any notifications or chat inside, you might be getting that messages here. We generally don't use that much. Oh, this is clear now. Whenever event messages are there, that messages are available. Now in this one, we are going to discuss more in the event side. Then this is view notifications. Suppose you are an approver or something. If you are receiving a notification, that also you can see from here. And then print. If you want to print this page, you can click on this print button. It will take it. Now we will explore on the set. Clicking this and clicking this both are same. But when you click this one, you need to select a document type. What you are searching for. For example, I will be searching for a sourcing request created. Then I will select this one. I will select sourcing request. Then a window will open for search window with the project type as sourcing request. From here also, you can change to different document type or project type. In sourcing request, I want to find out. Ariba is so easy because you don't need to remember the document numbers. You can enter the text of the document, then you will able to fetch the record. For example, I want to see what are all the sourcing requested created with the name Sanjay and press enter or click on search. Both are same only Sanjay, ATM demo, sourcing request Sanjay demo. This is the project when I click. This project, click on open. It will open the sourcing request. Now in this screen, the columns are title of the project, who is the owner, what is the commodity, again is the project the ID. This is the number. As I mentioned, we don't need to remember the number because we can search by the name itself. What is the savings and event tab? Using this table options menu wherever you see this button, you can able to add additional columns or hide columns also. Suppose I don't want target savings. I don't want to see target saving. I can remove it. However, I want to add status of the project or project state. I can click on more. Then whatever the fields are available, you can able to select. I also want the supplier name. Click on OK. OK. Now if I want to export this detail, select the table options menu. Go to the button export all rows. We'll take all this in Excel file, then current page. If the results are showing multiple pages, you can take only the current page also. Now I will remove Sanjay. Then I click on search. Then all sourcing requests are shown here. In this system, how many sourcing requests are there? All those will be shown here. So the system is saying there are more than 100 results are there. If you are only for testing purpose, you are viewing. You use this 100 records. If not, go back to the option select. Ignore max results limit. Once you select this option, click search again. All the sourcing requests will be visible now. There are about 943 pages documents are there, and that is spread over about 10 pages. If you want to export all the details, click on export all rows or you select export current page. Only the page which you are active, that is only, will be exported in an Excel file. Now further, so as I mentioned, I have done as a subject. Now I want to search by demo or I don't put any value here. However, I will select the owner as Vora Network, the person who logged into the system. Okay, we are on any table, click done, click search. Out of 943 projects, If the filter with Vora and Edit Love, how many documents are available? It will be less. 94 projects are available. I still want to further refine my search by this year created project. By selecting this creation date, select this year. Of 94 projects, there are 17 projects that are created during 2025. You can see the date also. If you want to change the date, select this option. Click on custom and give your own range also. If you want to looking for January month or something, you can do that. There are these things are available pre-filter this month, last month, this quarter, last quarter. If you want to have custom, you can select the custom field as well, or I want to have additional option. What are all the header fields available in sourcing request? When I click this drop down, I can change. Instead of create, I want to select departments, so I want to select the details about particular department. Then I can select this. Maybe I want to select IT department and HR department. So where is HR department? So let's say R&D or production department, 3 departments, I am selecting it. Click on done. Further, I am searching for projects created for these 3 departments. When I click search, there are 28 projects are created for this because I have removed the date. That's the reason. Now 28 projects are found for this department. You can export that. So that way you can able to search. You can change, or even if you want to have further filters, click on plus button. Then you have multiple options. If it is very frequently you are searching this, you have an option to save your search by clicking on save search and write the name. So what you are looking for, QC department projects. Okay, what will it will have? Wherever the permission I can view. This document type is sourcing request. For an actual department is IT department, production and QR department. This is your filters. When I click to OK, so on the left hand side, saved search will be added, QC department project. So notification is also coming. Now I will go back to the home page. Now I will go back to the search again. Sourcing request or from the sourcing project. I will change to sourcing request. Then I will click this magnifier button again here on the left hand side. When I select QC department, the filters will be automatically applied. If I don't want this structure to be, remove select options. Yeah, manage save search. Here you will able to have so many filters are available. Suppose I don't want that. You see which I just created. Select this item and rename. Name or delete. Also, I am deleting it. Click on done. Go back to the home page. That's about the navigation side, and over practice. When you are practicing one by one also, you will be exploring more. So it is not that difficult also. So dashboard navigation is quite simple and easy, and it's all through the images only. So user interface only. So that's the reason Ariba is so intuitive experience the users will create. Clear? Any questions? Hi sir. Yeah. Yes, Anjali. Yes. Do we have a separate URL for a test and a production site? Yes, correct. You will be having 2 different URLs. So the URL will be having like this Professors Rusty and production. You will actually that -t, mostly that is the how it will be having. However, we don't have any professors production system, so don't worry. And this for upstream and downstream. The same page, right? No upstream and downstream too. Different pages because of suite integration. So you can switch between one upstream to downstream using the site button. you will be having a unique URL for downstream, unique URL for upstream, whichever the way once you log in. Since you have permission to switch between these two, you can navigate from one side to another side. This is also required permission. For example, you are a user, you will be having access to sourcing and buying an invoice. So you are eligible for this thing. Then you will get a site option to switch back windows to. Suppose a procurement user, he will only have procurement operation only. He might not see this site button to navigate between one system to another system. Clear? Yes. While we were discussing about the dashboard, you were talking about the group. So what are they? We will discuss about it. Groups are nothing but roles or system permissions which you are assigning to a user. So that would allow him to get into the system. We are going to discuss about it under the user topic. Maybe in tomorrow's session I will discuss. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, quick question. Like when you said like we can configure, delete or publish, the template changes, right? So when we are deleting it, is it going to impact the data? Which template you are specifically talking? I think you showed us in terms of creating a template dashboard. So let's say if I'm creating a new dashboard and I'm applying the same changes for all the users, and if I'm doing any remodification or if I'm deleting, is it going to impact the data? Yeah. No, there is nothing. Data will not go anywhere because dashboard is only page navigation and data will not be affected. Okay, when I go to the dashboard template, at least you should be having one default template. It is not possible to remove all the template once I delete the last version or something. When I go here, if I delete this particular version, say for example here, when I'm deleting it, it is not going to affect anybody because this is not the active version when you go to the first page. So this is the published version only. These are all available for end users. Wherever you see the published buttons, published 1, published 0, published 0. So actually, wherever you see the published only available for end user. So for example, sourcing Asan. He will be having dashboard to this one if he is part of sourcing agent, and this is the published version. Suppose I delete this one because this owner is Professor's RSA 3. That's the reason I don't see the delete button. When you delete this one, then it will default to the previous one. So at least one template has to be available. So that template will be defaulted. That particular template I will not be able to delete. So what will happen? Suppose you have different tabs. So those tabs all will be removed. And it will go back to the tabs which is designed in the first rank, where the rank has been given right. So this template will be replacing whatever you have deleted one. Okay. Yeah. And we can apply changes only to a particular group, or is it something we can keep just for one user? No, you are going to change against the config. So that is where you are going to change it. And whether you want to have a different groups, that is the place you are going to choose here. Suppose you are having two designs you are doing. So two different templates you are creating. One for finance team and one for sourcing team. So you are going to decide two templates. And the group one you will create for sourcing. And one other group you create for the finance. Once you publish both the template, the user belongs to sourcing will get the sourcing template. The user belongs to finance. He will get the finance template. If user belongs to both sourcing and finance, that particular user having both the permission. Then the rank will decide. So whichever the rank you have given priority, that template will be defaulted to that particular user. And what if I don't know the user belongs to which group? Like if he's a new joinee and it takes time for them, no manager, for example, when some in organization, actually it is not our role. We will not be doing all those user additions, and that it will be done by the user manager only going to do that. So we are only going to configure one time only, where at that time the business will tell us, so sourcing people configure like this template that we will configure and leave it only. Now second question, how do we know whether he is a sourcing person or something? When they are recruiting him, so on what basis they will recruit? His role is to do the RFQ standard. So he belongs to sourcing team only, or his profile department will identify he belongs to which particular depart or cost center. It's all changes from company to company. The cost center they will classify. When the payroll is generated, when the employee is taken, he will be assigned to a project. So the project will determine where it is. In real time in business scenarios, he will be assigned to one profit center or a cost center or a department that will tell where he belongs to. Or when you're creating a user, the user who were asking you to create a user, that person will tell, hey, please give him sourcing permission and contract permission. Hey, give only sourcing permission. So then you are going to assign the roles to that particular user based on the request which you have received. Okay. I think I tried to cover the systems business side and operations side. And one last question, Sanjay, sorry. As you said, like in your previous question, like if a person have a dual role, like sourcing and finance, and you said like it will be decided as per the ranking, can you still switch to between the screens like it can really have the access? No, then that user can create his own tab. There is no restriction. Okay, he can create his tab and he can change and he can modify as per his unwilling. Only when troubleshoot happens, use this option. Revert to the default rating it. It will take you to that site. Got it? Yes. Or if you don't assign any group, then that is default to all the people. Mostly one actually for people for practicing purpose, and only they do it. Nowadays, no one is configuring the dashboard template. Just give the default to whichever coming from Ariba. That will be given to all the users. We don't even create different versions also. It's not that much effective unless some organization, they will say, no, my users are getting confused. Please only this tick. He will only see this information. In that time, you will configure all those things. Otherwise, as I mentioned, one template only will be having. That is decided to all the people. When they log in, they will be having the default template. One of the interviews earlier, not today, but a couple of years back, I have been asked a question like, which SAP version are you using? That's the reason I have initially told. This is only for on-premise people. You can tell that now there is no versioning available in Ariba. Now it's all the releases are available for all the cloud-based solutions. If you're saying if it is an unpromised system, then I can able to verify going to the bottom of the page, see the whichever the version which is available. You can clearly see that's a no more required on cloud solution. It is not required. This will be used when troubleshooting only. If you're facing some issue or something, then Ariba will ask what is the version. This version you have to provide. Otherwise, it is no more relevant now. Got it. Last question from myself. What is the difference between the help section and the Ariba Connect? Good question. So help section, as I mentioned now, this was given to the public people. Any public, a person can access because we don't need any login detail also without clicking this way. I'll go to a new tab. Click on Help SAPCOM. It will take you. This is about 3-4 years before they did it. So when I select plus button, I think you are seeing the screen right here. Here, if you put it, Help SAPCOM, enter it. So I have not logged into any of the documentation. So a SAP help portal gives you huge resource of details are available. However, Connect access is only given to support people like us. Ariba administrator. Where Connect Ariba come? Here you will be having customized content that can only access by here. Sometimes you may not get the correct results from the help subcom. However, in Connect Ariba it will narrow down your search. Suppose you are raising a ticket saying that I do not have a permission to dashboard managing. So this is your issue. You are connecting with the SAP team and asking it. When you put this question in ConnectCom, the system will tell if you have this permission. You will be able to connect to the system. It's a more guided or relevant search you will be able to get from Connector Barcom. Actually, we are going to cover this during the end of our session, how to connect with SAP support type system. That time I'm going to explore. Now, just since we have asked it, I'm explaining it. Now there is no Connector Ibacom. You have to access this from SAP for me. Now you have to get updated also. Last 1 year, Ariba has a new application. Removed access from here. It will take you to the SAP for me. Under that there is a product and support. Under that, you will be having an access to create the tickets even earlier. It is called service request. When you want to take help from SAP, you have to raise a ticket. The ticket is called service request. Now this has been created as a case. So you are going to raise a case with the SAP. So these are all updated information. So just keep it out of it. Any other question? Sanjay, do we still have like a fully enabled account and light account still? That is for the suppliers, not for us. Correct. Now it is only two things. It is only two things, enterprise account and supplier account. Sorry, enterprise account and standard account. So standard account. Now they made it fully free. Earlier there were certain restrictions. Now it is totally free. Standard account, you don't pay anything. Whereas enterprise account, you have to pay amount to the SAP. So in the future classes, we will be covering the overview on the supply network as well. Yes. That's it from my insight. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone. We'll connect tomorrow. Bye. It's about introduction and navigation into Ariba. How you will be able to log in into Ariba. So using URLs, you will be able to log in. There are two types of users, enterprise users, third-party users. Third-party users generally will be having their username and password. The remaining can sign in with single sign-in. As Navidad's security is important, most of the clients are following single sign-in so that they don't need to enter username and password in Ariba. That is now becoming a standard at kind of. And we have discussed about navigation between parent site and child site or upstream to downstream using the site option. And there are self-service menus. I think I started to show you the delegation of authority that I will show in today's session. And the users also we will discuss. How the users and the roles will be assigned in today's session. And then we'll go to the sourcing module. So before that, any questions? So the section would be user management. So what? We are going to see delegation of authority and we are going to see user groups. And then we will start sourcing. Let me know if you have any question, otherwise we'll continue the session. So one of the main features in Ariba is user delegation. So what is user delegation? Suppose if you are going on a leave, then you can assign your access to the somebody else. So to act on behalf of you and perform the activity. So mostly if you are an approver, if you are going in and leave, generally in S4 or ECC, that is a big task. You have to inform the basis person. And basis person will assign your permission to somebody. Those are all hectic ones. So you have to depend on basis. Here it is not required. You can do that as a self-service activity. How do you do that? Go to that user profile by clicking on the initials and then you will be seeing delegation of authority. So switch to the child trailer. Click on user initials. Delegate authority. So when I clicked on delegate authority here, I can able to decide what is that. Suppose I will be going on a leave. I want to assign it to Varan 17. By now you are aware how to search. These are all since you have used in the past. It is showing as a quick reference. If you want to search more, click on search more and enter the name either by the name or by the password adapter. So this will change based on the fields which you are selecting. So currently I have only two options. So password adapter is a standard one. When Ariba login method you are using, password adapter. One will be the enterprise user. Start for T user will be the different user. So when you select password adapter, click on that. You're seeing here already third party user and enterprises. These are all password adapters. So I will go to the name and I will put it for a name. This is what I want to search all the names with for a name. Will be shown. Suppose I am going on a leave and I want to assign my authority to Vora 920. When I select Vora 9 in 20, from when you want to start that delegation. So I will be starting next week Monday and I will be closing by Monday, end of the week. So 11:59 12 it starts from 24th beginning and 28th ending. You can put a planned leave or out of on duty. Something, whatever you have, you can mention that using this option, you will able to receive the email notification during your leave. Nowadays, most of us will be having a mobile phone with access to the Outlook. So you can able to monitor all the messages, but you don't need to take an action because this is delegated to the other user. Suppose you don't want to get disturbed with the mails because you have confidence on this particular question. We can remove this notification. When you click on next, the system will tell you who has to approve this authority. You cannot do it on your own. So your manager or supervisor has to approve it. Delegator's approval limit must be greater than or equal to delegator's approval limit. Details plant is unacceptable. In this user profile, the plant was not maintained. So it's expecting some additional higher authority. Let's go to delegate. I will assign it to somebody else. Let's click next. Still, this is same. I will just search for any other user. Anyway, in this site there is no approval limits when configured. What it is saying is you cannot delegate to a junior person. You can delegate to a senior person. So that senior person should be having a higher approval limit or same limit only. So for example, Voronet Club is having approval limit of 20,000. Another person, his manager will be having greater than 20,000. So that mean is you can delegate it not to the junior. That is the message which is giving delegator. Delegate is approval limit must be greater than or equal to delegator's approval limit and planned. Is also not maintained. Once you maintain, the system will show who has to approve it. When you click the next, then the system is giving you chance to review before you submit the application or a document. So that's called user profile. Request up 699 once you click on submit once. Once it is approved by the person who is in the approval flow, during this time when this professor's RSA logins into the system will tell, hey, you have an authority. Do you want to log in as Voran 12 or Professor's RSA? So when you click that particular Professor RSA 3, a banner will still continue. So once you perform all the activities, approving something or creating something, once you've done that, when you click the banner with the stop button, it will take back you to the original version. So that is ORI Network's e-login data. So this is as an end user or a user in the Ariba system to perform delegation of authority in a planned situation. Suppose he goes on a leave, emergency leave, and he did not have a time to apply in the system. Then what we can able to do? So generally, a ticket will come from his manager confirming that, please assign this one delegation from one user to one user for so and so time as a consultant or an administrator, consultant and administrator. Why we interchangeably call companies have a consultant, but they don't allow him to perform production activities. Consultant will only do the support activities, administrator being a super user or the person who has a knowledge on how to use the managing the administrative area of the system. He will be trained. That person will be handling this job also. So what he will do, manage, click on administration. User manager will be under core administration. Let us click on core administration. Under user manager, you are having delegations. So this is as it a high level, not high level, is it? Technical level, you are going to configure the delegation. So create a delegation from user. Here I need to select from user. In the previous session, it is not necessary because in the previous session, it is not necessary because the person who is creating the request becomes the delegated. Who is the delegated or a network? What is the time from this date? Till next week. Put a message. I have this via email. I will say email. Ariba is the user. So the delegated Ariba is the user. Ariba supervisor email received on the 18th. So some reference. When somebody is asking how you have delegated it audit purpose, you can mention that. Or if you are receiving via ticketing management system, you can put the incident number and enter the detail. Continue to notify, so same setting. So if you are selecting this, he will be notified about the information. When you click save, this particular user will be having a permission. Now if I log in into Ariba Network, let's log out and log in. I have a permission to act as both the users if I click on Ariba user. He is having very less access, I believe. So now Ariba is taking me to the another user login. He is a buyer. He has very limited approval authority, bundle. I will stop acting. By clicking on stop acting, it will take back you to Vora Network's approval process. This is guided by InSpring. So the previous buyer was having only guided by InSpring permission. Let me see if I can able to go back to the report. Thank you. Thank you. And now I have logged into normal user. I'll click on home page. Okay, well, we discussed about the delegation. Now let's talk about user groups. In Ariba session 2 today. In Ariba, how does system permissions are coming? So we have discussed about the user. There are two types of users which we have seen, enterprise users and third-party users. Now, how do I get permissions? To work certain functionality system, permission to work functionality. Suppose I am an enterprise user, my username is Varani12 and email address. I can have any email address. Now email address. Now there are system permissions. What are the system permissions? Say analyst. This is a system permission sourcing agent. This is again system permission sourcing manager, contract agent, contract manager. These are all called system groups. Okay. If I assign Oranet12 in the sourcing agent group, he will get the functionality of creation of sourcing project. If I assign contract manager permission, he will get creation of contracts plus reports. Because manager role, he will be having additional roles compared to the contract agent. So that permissions, how it is coming? You have to assign system groups to the user. There are two ways you can be able to do that. Go to the particular group, add the user. That is one method. Or second method, go to the user for an example, add groups. Here I am going to select sourcing agent contract manager. So this way I am assigning the system permission to this user. And here from the system groups I am going to assign to the user. Let us call Ariba user management. Under user you will be performing this activity. I will show you where this information you can able to find out. I will go to the share Ariba screen. So manage core administration. You will be having user manager. In the core administration user manager, this is groups. When I list all, there will be two type of groups. We will talk about the custom groups at a later stage. System groups will give the users the permissions. As I mentioned, you can see here, these are all system groups. I go to certain pages. Ariba manage. This is called custom. So you have created the group in the system itself. That's called Ariba manage. Now let's go to one of the system groups. Let's say sourcing related. If you want to find out what are the groups related to sourcing, you can say here sourcing, agent sourcing, approver sourcing manager. These are all Ariba provided groups. Let me open sourcing manager group. Inside the users, I will be finding who are all having permission to this particular group. That's about sourcing manager. Now I will be doing in another way. So what is that? I will go to the user instead of groups. I'll go to the users. I will find out the list of users. All the users will be displayed here. When I open one of the users, for example this one, by clicking here, I think they are taking an action. So if anyone is performing, please be careful. They started removing these accesses. Now these users will not be able to unlock anyway. So click on your N20. Here the groups you will be seeing for that particular user. What are all the system permissions he is having? Clear any questions? Hi Sanjay, I have a question. So here, like we can assign any role to the user like analyst, and sourcing agent. So whatever we have as a system user group, we can assign all at once or only one at a time, something like that. You can add all, but don't practice this. I will show you by going to the user for administration. Okay. So for example, for a particular user, you want to do that. So I will go to the user. I will enter the name of the user. Let's say we run it. Well, this is the user and here you will be having the edit option when you click on edit. Here the groups. There will be two tasks. General will give you the details about the user. And the groups will give you how many groups he is having a permission. When I click add or remove, on the right hand side, wherever you see the tick marks, wherever you are seeing the tick marks, these are our system groups. Sorry, the user is having a permission on the left hand side. This particular user is not only having these groups only. If you want to assign the groups, you can do that by clicking on done. Being an administrator, you can do that. Don't do this in the production system. Sorry, in this system, because this is monitored. If they came to know that something is provided, they will be removing our account. For demo purpose only, they have given the access. Now we can view only. Don't perform any changes to the user. You can create new user. You can change the permission. Everything is possible in the system. But try to edit and learn it and don't click the submit button because once you save the record, if it is alerted to the people and then our account will be locked only for the when you're having your client system or demo system where you are having a permission you can play around. But in this system only related to the users, only don't play with the user creation. Now clear. Now let's discuss few more things on the user management. Now this user, when I click this edit button, since we started for an A12, the name, whatever the name, this is the unique name, user ID. This you will not able to change it here. You can able to change it most of the companies what they do. User ID, they will create a buyer 1, buyer 2, buyer 3 and they will put the name of the particular buyer Sanjay. So buyer 1 Sanjay, if Sanjay is leaving that organization, somebody else is coming, then this is replaced with Ramesh or Suresh or something like that. Then organization remains same when you are having multiple organization link. This is I don't know why they have created. Also, generally it defaults to the one organization only. This is where your email address. All the notifications will go to this email address. If you want to change, you can change that email address to the update. Certain times when the company acquire new businesses, what they are going to do, their domain name will change. Nowadays, if you are seeing, let's say Google Coin or Google.com or Googlin or Govin, once government acquires something, they will add Govin. So the domains will change, the username remains same. So in such scenarios, you can able to update the business email address to receive the notification. Similarly, you can also have the supervisor assigned here. Supervisor is nothing but the person who will be approving your request. It is not in your real hierarchy. Suppose you are reporting to your plant manager. Plant managers do not work on Ariba, but on your purchase requisition schedule. You have to submit. So a plant manager is not there. In that scenario, maybe the sourcing agent can be added as a supervisor, so he will approve it. So it is not the real-time supervisor, and it is not necessary that it is always same. So if your company having suppose your supervisor also having an Ariba access, then that particular supervisor will be added here. The purpose of supervisor here is when you submit some action, that person, the manager, has to approve your purchase requisition. So that's the role of supervisor. If you do not take action, for example, you have to approve some purchase requisition or some sourcing task or some tasks you have to approve. You have not taken the action for 2 weeks. A message will go to your supervisor saying that your subordinate did not take an action. Please look that item and you may act, and you can also approve it. So those are all the roles of a supervisor. The supervisor's email address will be there, and when this user created, when he has updated, so somebody has updated. No, we did not update it. I don't know why it's showing last modified. So we did. Maybe the delegation will have given us the reason. And this is groups. This is on the screen. You are performing the activity. The same thing can be done via data import and export. When I go to the data import and export, when I click list all, whatever user related task will be showing here. I can able to import enterprise user using a CSV file. When I click on import, I can able to load a file. Users fee, the file name can be anything. What operation you want to do it? Do you want to create a new user, or do you want to modify an existing user, or you just want to update some information for a user, or you want to disable some user when there is a mass or bulk activities you want to perform. You're going to do this activity, then you might ask me, how can I know what is correct? Data, what fields and all, you need to take it. Then you can take the reference from export option. By going to the export option, when you click this one, the system will give you the current. Use list of users, modify their data and bring it back. So this is, when you want to do the bulk activities, you can perform that via data import. On next. Now let's talk about something on the groups also. So as I mentioned, there are system groups like I have mentioned that buyer 1, it will be assigned to Sanjay. Buyer 2, Ramesh. When somebody is going on a live, then you are going to replace the user, but their unique ID will remain same, so you don't need to update any of the approval processes or anything. You can use it. Okay. Now by default, when somebody is joining in our organization as a procurement manager, I will be assigning him sourcing agent role, sourcing manager role, and sourcing manager, role reporting manager. I am just randomly selecting something. Reporting manager, analyst, internal user. These are all system groups. I will be assigning him all these roles. Suppose I have very frequently changing in my organization. I have 20 procurement managers. Either I have to go to that particular role, add all the people, or I'll go to that individual user and add the role. Instead of that, you can create some custom called procurement manager. Almost most of the components will follow COS underscore procurement manager, so which will identify that this is a custom group, or instead of, if you don't like this name, Then what is the domain which we are using? Professor's RSA, let's say PR, Professor's RSA underscore. Procurement manager, because certain time the system name also will be having the same. So in my company, I have a sourcing manager. Okay. System permission also having sourcing manager. So this is confusing. When I'm creating a custom, I would create CUS underscore sourcing manager or professors, or this is the client, or if it is your company is a Dell, or if it is company HP. So you can add headspace, the name of the company, short words, short initials, then add sourcing. So you're identifying what is a system group, what is a custom group. This way you can create. Now the second topic, once I created this group, now I want to assign the permissions, so sourcing agent and all those things. So what I have to do, I have to go to this particular system group, go to the child group and add your custom group in the child. So here sourcing agent, I'll go to add child, add custom group. So this custom group, whatever you assign under the system group will inherit the permissions of the parent group. So whatever the sourcing agent is having a system permission, that all will come to your custom group. So now I have created a custom group. It is easy now. In my company, sourcing manager is John Rebecca Ribello. Rebecca, whatever the name, Suresh it's 7. So it is simple. So when somebody is leaving the organization, I will just remove the user from the particular sourcing management, or if it's changing to some other department, I will simply go to this custom group and remove that particular user. This way you can create custom groups. How the system will get the permission system? Permissions for a custom group, you have to go to the relevant system group, add as a child group. That way you will able to get the system permissions for the custom groups created. Clear any questions? Alright, now let's start into the sourcing module, which is our beginning part. So let's understand what is in the sourcing module and why we use in sourcing one. Any organization, you will be having different departments, okay? So their role is to purchase some action. For example, HR department, what is their role? Recruit the people. I have finance department, they make the payments, they process salaries. Okay, similarly there is a department called procurement. The name can be interchangeable. Supply chain management logistics. Next, buying department and sourcing department. And there is one more group also. Centralized services, a procurement department. So you will be having any department. What is their role? Let's talk about what is we are talking in the sourcing model. So their role is to, the main goal will be identify source of supply. What does it mean? I have a requirement in the company that I am looking for chemicals. This is my requirement. So this is used in a production. So production chemicals I am looking for. So I will be looking for production chemicals every month 100 kgs. That is my conception pattern or something like that, and which will cost me around 100 Zolozen. This is the requirement. However, the person who is needing this item, the person is production. Supervisor needs this item because in order to run the business or in order to manufacture something, he required chemicals on a monthly basis 100 kgs approximately. It will cost 100,000 rupees. He will not go into the market and find out the prices or identify who will supply the chemicals and all. He will provide his requirement to the sourcing team. So the sourcing team, they will collect the information from these people and they will go to the market. So go to the market means how you will go in traditionally, how you can go to the market. So there is exhibition, trade exhibitions. What is trade exhibition? Something in the same related industry will be conducted. An exhibition where all the buyers and sellers will meet. In the trade exhibition, we will come to know new products, new suppliers, new technology. All these things we will able to identify. When you go to real estate exhibition, you will understand how many builders are there. What are all the properties available? What is the cost of the properties you can go to? To a child fair. When you go to the child fair, you will be learning the schools, whatever, new trends. What is the methodology they follow? What is the curriculum they follow? What is the fees? What is the facilities they have? You will able to understand. But similarly, when the sourcing team main source would be exhibition, that is one source, and second source, the sellers will come to the premises. Sellers come to premises. That means I am selling. For example, I am a seller of a chemical. Okay, I am a salesman for that chemical salesman. What's my role? I have to identify my customer. So I will visit all the companies where they are using this chemical. I will take a permission from the buying department or the reception asking that I want to meet a buyer. So when the buyer will allow, you will talk to the buyer and you will explain your product specification. Okay, application. Okay, and you will gather some information like where they are purchasing, how they are purchasing, how much quantity they are purchasing, etc. Then they will give their catalogs or they will send email with all the details. So this is another source. So the seller is coming to the premises and giving detail and one more main source. Now these are all we are talking for a new item or a finding, a development item. However, you can go to the PO history. So PO history will tell last time from which supplier you have provided and last time when you go to the PO history when you find out the quotation with all whom I have purchased the quotation and what are all the prices they have given. So now take into the Ariba terminology. So this production supervisor is called requesting department, and this department the activity will be performing using sourcing module in Ariba. And generally in Ariba terminology, the people in sourcing department would be sourcing agent and sourcing manager. What is the main role of sourcing agent? Sourcing agent will create RFQs. In Ariba terminology, it is RFP and will send it to the supplier sourcing manager. He will monitor all the sourcing agents, how many tickets, how many RFQs are open and all those things. That is his responsibility. Okay, now coming back. So we have mentioned here identify source of. So here the requesting department is asking the sourcing department to find out the chemical. So by PO history, when they have a visiting cards available from the sellers or when they go to the exhibition and they find out the sellers available now, they will compare whatever they will send a formal quotation to them, collect the pricing information, then they choose. It is nowadays, it is not the price factor which determines the selection. It also includes additional things also. What are all those? It could be lead time. So lead time in the same. When the supplier will be able to supply, I am looking for this 100 kc in this month itself. So I want this item to be received before 30th March. However, I have a few suppliers. Supplier AB. This supplier will be supplying only on 15th April. then I may not able to provide up order to him even though his price is cheaper. I will not able to place an order to him because I need this item on 30th March and he will not able to supply. That is one of the major criteria. You might go to give the business to higher prices also because it required lead time, and second, I have some quality standards. Okay, this has to maintain like ISO standard or easy. In India, we go by the trademark ESA if they're not ESA certified. Even when the price is less, I'm not going to give the business because my company has a policy that we will be having ESA market items only we want to purchase. Then I will not able to do that. So the price is not the main factor. Okay, now this is one of the reason. And second, what is their responsibility then? Identify best source of supply. You have to find out the quality and all those things have to be considered in a longer term. Then you are going to identify a particular supplier. Let's say this supplier, he will able to supply 30th April and he is having ISI standard and he is in the industry for 20 years and his location is near to us. We have identified this as a source of supply. For material, chemical, the same thing will happen for different product classification. You are going to identify which is the best supplier, and then the buying department, whenever they want to place a purchase order, they will right away place the purchase order with the selected vendor because you have achieved it. Now, once I identified the vendor, what else I am going to do that? I am going to bargain the prices. What is the bargaining I will do? I will say, hey, I know that 100 kg you are going to give me per kilo 25 rupees. 25 rupees per kg, remember? I am going to place every month 100 kg. So my requirement is 100 and 1200 kgs in a year. This is damn sure. I am going to give you the visible if the sales are increasing. I might purchase additional item. Can you able to give me better price? Then the supplier will tell, okay, what I will do, I will purchase this item and I will keep it in my stock. But you place order for every month for 100 TBGG. Then I will give you the price of 20 rupees per kg. This is what the negotiation or the bargaining power that the sourcing agent is performing now. The company is saving 5 rupees per kg, so their cost of the product will reduce. Obviously, when the cost of product is reduced, their margin will increase. Or they will be in a position to reduce the MRP maximum retail price to get the competition. So this is about procurement scenario. Let's talk about detail in sourcing, what we are going to do that. In sourcing, we have two type of documents. One is sourcing request and second sourcing project. By now we understand who is going to use the sourcing request. The department who wants the item will be using the sourcing request and who is going to use the sourcing project. The department who is going to procure the material. Choose the sourcing part. In sourcing request, we are going to provide item details to the sourcing department and the sourcing department now will float a quotation to the suppliers to collect the pricing information. In Ariba, there are 3 ways you can collect the quotation: first RFI, second RFP, third auction. So what is RFI? So when I am sending to the new supplier who has come to me, first time I want to check with him, I have a requirement. This is the R requirement. Will be able to supply. This is what I needed. 30th March ASI 28. This is not required. So I say is the brand and I have specifications which I am sharing in the attachment. Please review this specification and if you are able to supply this material, let me know. Then the supplier will respond. That's it. The beginning stage. RFI request for information here. Your motive is to gather information from the supplier. if they supply the material from. Suppliers if they fulfill your requirement. And next stage, yes, some suppliers have said, yes, we will able to deliver, and some suppliers said, no, we will not able to deliver now. Your focus is only the supplier who has said, yes, we will able to supply to them. You are going to float a quotation that includes pricing information. Can you please provide pricing information for that item? Let's say here I have invited to 20 suppliers. Out of 20 suppliers, 8 suppliers have said not possible or not fulfilling. Then I am going to reduce my efforts to 12 suppliers. Then I am going to collect the pricing information. Now out of these 12 suppliers, almost 4 suppliers are. Prices is neck to neck. That means all are equal. Only so all are. Same standard, same delivery. Everything remains same. Only but price is little bit changing. So maybe if I negotiate with him, they might give me some better prices also instead of doing that. So I'm going to conduct an auction only for this 4 supplier competitive bidding. This is called competitive bidding by conducting an auction. I am going to reveal the prices to the supplier. Okay, what is the price? 20 rupees and 25 rupees. I am going to start the price with 25 rupees. Then the supplier will enter the price. Someone will enter at 24 rupees. Then the system will tell, hey, you are the lead bidder. Another supplier enters a price of 23. Then that supplier will become the lead one and this supplier will become lead one. So that competition is possible where when you conduct an auction event. In RFP, we don't collect competitive bidding. We will just collect the pricing information. So there are 3 ways we are going to collect this information. If you are asking me whether I follow this process for all time, no, not necessary. Only whenever if your requirement is huge or if your spend is more, or if you are having a tighter situation, you want to conduct, you can conduct. There is no way it is mandatory. Most of the cases in business, what will happen? They will directly float RFP only. If at all required, they will go for the auction. In general scenario, this is what they follow. But however, when bulk purchases where the quantity they are spending more, they want to collect huge savings, then they might go with auction facility. Player, any questions? Okay, now move on. Sir, what is the full power of this RF and RFP? Request for information, request for proposal and action. Request for information, request for proposal action is just an event. Okay, in this auction, we generally call this auction as reverse auction. So why we call reverse auction? Because the prices are reducing. So generally, when you go to a normal traditional method, when you go to a normal traditional to the market, mostly where you go there to buy certain things. So the prices who were giving a higher bidder, we will be giving. So we will be getting that item in purchase scenario when the supplier is reducing the price. It is benefit for us. We expect him to be the lead bidder. That's why it's called reverse action. Okay, now this event, whatever you are creating, is called quick project. There is one more thing, that is full project. What is the difference here? When I go to Ariba, when I click sourcing project, when I say let's pick project, then the system will ask me what you want to do that. So I want to do an RFI or an RFP. Only one event, only you can able to do that. Once I do that activity, it's complete. However, if I want to flow all these 3, then I can use full project. I will go to the Ariba, click on sourcing project, click on full project, and then I will conduct RFI first, RFP second and archetype. Okay, this is one of the major feature of full project. You can able to conduct multiple events in one project itself. Multiple events in one project. And also this will give additional functionality like a project implementation functionality. What is that you can use tasks to get approvals, reviewers, notifications, review, etc. And also you will be having documents area. You can store all the related documentation. You can also workflow will be there based on the workflow you have to purchase. For example, in my company, when the amount is spent is less than 10 Zalozan INR, procurement manager will place a purchase order and they will get the material. If the amount is 10 lakhs, it has a strict policy. What is the strict policy? First of all, when the budget is about 10 lakhs and above, you have to conduct stakeholder meeting. Okay, stakeholder meeting. What is stakeholder meeting? Who is spending? So maybe this is required by production department and what is related. IT commodity. I want the IT team to be there because they will be confirming it. Whether we can able to install that particular system, whether we have the network available, whether the load is sufficient, whether we have sufficient licenses. They're going to identify. Then finance department, they will tell whether the 10 lakhs, whether we have the capacity to spend now or when we want to spend it, where we want to allocate that cost, how we want to account that information. Do you want to capital that expenditure or you want to show us the revenue expenditure, etc. Or maybe any other business. Who is going to take the lead? Maybe the mode of directors or management team. All have to conduct and they have to agree. Yes, we can go ahead. And after that, what will happen? They will also decide whether they want to go with these three auction or an RFP or they have information. So how to negotiate with the supplier, that is also discussed, and after that the project plan has to be completed. So there are certain process has to be followed if you want to achieve this. Full project will support this functionality. Conduct in a meeting, gather minutes of meeting, upload that in the documents and create a workflow where this will go to particular team for review, particular team for approval, particular team for execution. All these things are possible in a full project. Clear any questions? So here multiple event in one project. What does this mean? It is a placeholder. So basically you are creating a project inside that project. You can create n number of events. So I can create 2 times my RFP, 3 times be possible. But in the above scenario, directly one event I am creating without any reference to any project. That is the difference. You can contain this full project, can contain multiple events in one project. I think with this we will wind up today. This example will be covered practically tomorrow. Yeah, correct? That's correct. So this is a theoretical part. So at high level, what is? The sourcing module will do that. How many type of documents are available? How many type of events? What is the difference between quick project and full project? A kind of a theory, subject. So we are going to explore all those things in tomorrow's one by one. So we will start with the sourcing request. After that, click the event. After that full project, then we will go to the templates. After creating the template, we will again create this projects again to make sure that our template is working. And couple of questions from today's lecture. Sanjay, regarding user table. Okay, should we do the changes in the admin or core admin? User manager will only be available in core admin. Okay? The next question. If possible, can you show an example like how to create a user using that upload template? If possible. I will not show that uploading a template. I will show departments or some other master data. So user data and other things are called master data. So we are not supposed to input any user data here. I will do that in upcoming session. So let me note on this. I will show you some master data input. The process remains same only. Instead of selecting the region file, you will be selecting user file only. So once you learn how to upload a master data, then the same thing applies for user data. So that I will cover. I thought I'm like just seeing what are the headers. I just said like what are the fields. That is great. That is one more session there in core administration time, where I'm going to explain what are all the different data which you're going to include. What is the field has to be there, whether that field is mandatory, not mandatory. How much length you can have. All those things are covered in that. Okay, done? And let's say if I have a purchase order or an invoice waiting for my approval, you said like if I'm not approving, system will send a notification to my manager, right? So is there a way? I know the answer, but just want to check. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, there is a possibility. Is there a way we can control the notification, or at least we can change the notification? Timeline. So I can go to manager valid question. There is a way you can increase that notification period in 14 days, either to reduce or increase. After that, only it will trigger. So that's called parameters. The parameter has to be doing, and second, maybe you don't want this activity. My supervisor does not care and we don't want to do that. Then there is a no supervisor group in. That group you have to include your main agent, so the escalation will not go to that. Main agent, whoever part of the particular group, that is second. And what was your third? Changing timeline section. Timeline is possible, as I mentioned, reduce the instead of 14 days, you can. Reduce that even if you don't want. There is a parameter, so that I think, but is by that it's a default design where you can increase or reduce or use no supervisor group if you don't want the escalation to reach to the group. So what will happen? It will go to the no supervisor, group and system will not perform. System will not escalate to the supervisor. Where do we need to do that changes? Is it like in core admin under notifications? No, in a parameter, that is a system level parameters, so that you have to do that. I can just store like where exactly in the user interface, like no, not in the user interface. I'll just quickly show you. That is also we are going to discuss in another topic, Intelligent Configuration Manager manage. Configurations, click on continue. Parameters. Here escalation warning period for approval request. So they have skipped 3 days as the current value. Expanded the system, determine the default escalation. Warning period for all type of approval. The escalation warning period is the number of days an approval has to act on a request before your site sends a notification of the impending escalation. A value of 0 sets this parameter to the default value of 14 days. So 3 days is the system default. No, system default is 0 and 4 days. So this customer has renamed to 3 days. That's the next question. So whenever we assign a delegation of authority, Even the current request will be assigned. The delegation of authority user, that's correct. All the existing also, they can able to do that. But the completed ones will not have any impact, right? Delegation of authority, right? Yeah, let's say if I have a PO, I approved it and I went on a leave, but still I updated my DOS Sanjay. But the PO is still not completed. It's moving into next stage, but my approval is completed, then that's not required only if the pending approval only will able to perform. Okay, that is expected, right? So we don't want to submit advance. The reason I asked is I understand the system has to re-trigger. If there is a change in the delegation, you go to that particular change when most of the cases, most of the systems are designed like that, are completed. One will not change it. So if it's there in the flow for the next level or after that level, then that will get impacted and that person can approve it. So thank you for joining. So today we will go to the Ariba screens and create one sourcing event. Let me session 3. So agenda would be, we will be creating first sourcing request. On approval of the sourcing request, we are going to create sourcing project. As you mentioned, the requesting department used to create the sourcing project. Once this has been approved, project will be created by the sourcing team or sourcing agent or sourcing manager. Now, is it mandatory that sourcing request is a must? No, not at all required. You can directly create a sourcing project also. However, if your company is following, then sourcing request is the first document a requesting department will create in Ariba. So we are going to see how to create a sourcing request and then how to create a sourcing project. Before that, any questions? Alright, so as we have already explored on the navigation part, in order to create a document, you have to click on the right hand side, create, and then click on sourcing request, create sourcing request, or on the left hand side, create sourcing request. Both are same. Only selecting whichever, it will take you to the sourcing request creation screen. So this is the create sourcing request form where you are going to fill header values here and then you will select if it is integrated with your backend system and then you are going to choose a template. Whatever you are visible here, suppose if you want to customize anything. What is customization? Do you want to add additional field or make whatever asterisk? Means that is a compulsory field. You have to enter the value against that particular field. If you do not want a field to be mandatory, the red asterisk will be removed. So the option to make it mandatory or remove that option or make the field as optional or addition or deletion or hiding and conditional by hiding. What is conditional by hiding? I want to show departments. Only when I select region as India, then the department will pop up. So like this configuration, all will be with SAP. We have to connect with SAP to ask the requirement during initial project deployment. So the customer or the client will agree what are the fields we needed. And after that, if any modification, we have to connect with Ariba by raising a ticket. Now come down this template. These templates are all under the control of SAP Ariba consultant. Like we can create a new template. We can create as many templates as we needed. Or we can change the template name or we can make visibility condition of the template. What is that? If I select one particular reason, I want this template to be visible. Otherwise, I don't want this template to be visible. All will be with us. I mean, we can able to manage that. So the process flow after you create a sourcing request, the next steps all follows based on the template which you are creating. It is all going to determine your workflow, your process. All those things will be part of pivot template only. So in Ariba upstream, the templates are the important area where an Ariba consultant will require to configure these things. Okay, let us create a sourcing request. Now we are creating like a business user. So user has something he wants to purchase. So he is raising a request. Yesterday, what is the example we have taken? Chemicals. Let us create a request for the chemicals. So he is looking for what chemical? Varnish chemical. He can mention the name if he is having. Name 3M. Then what is this field? Copy from project. Suppose I have created this varnish chemical now. Since we are going for the first time, we are not using the copy from project. Once I created this project, tomorrow if I want to create, when I select this varnish project, automatically all these fields will be populated. So we are copying the information from the previously created project. So this will help you to feed up your request creation since it is. For the first step, let's explore all the fields. Okay, one is chemicals, 3M copy from project. We are not using project step. Whether I am going to send the request immediately or I will be doing it a later step. That's called active or a plan. If I select plan, I will be selecting from when. And when, start date and end date of my planned production. After that, the project will be active. However, this indicates the current status of the project. Plan and indicate the project has not yet to begin. The status on hold completed and cancel will be available while editing the project. So once you create the project, after that these options will be available at the moment. You only have either active or a planning one. I will keep it as an active test project. No or yes. What is this? So this is for testing your project. So to identify whether the project which you are creating is a test purpose or non-test. Non-test means what production uses purpose. So really sending this item to the market for getting the quotation, this will be relevant. In a production environment where I am having a production site, so to test functionality. Something I have made a changes in the system or I just want to create one sample run of the business case, then I can select the test project as this. But the advantage of doing that when I select a project as a test, this will not be included in the reports which you are taking. So for example, how many sourcing projects I have created in the month of January. So if I do not include test projects 25, if I include test projects, 30 projects will come. So I can able to distinguish whether the projects are test or not. And when we use only when it is required, only we generally don't use any test project in production region. So the where this chemical is needed, that is the region you are going to enter. So let's explore by clicking on search mode the field. Then it gives you all the regions available in the system. So I will expand all. This is the parent one. Under all, there are different regions that are available under Asia Pacific. Okay, under Asia Pacific, I will go to India. Someone has changed India into some other region. Let's select. What is that? Oh, he has put under the all section. Sorry, maybe in the second page. I am select. There are two Indians are available. Under first India, what is that? And Maharashtra. I am the second India. Okay, why do I see like this? So this is because the people are practicing in this system. We are getting all these things otherwise. We don't find like. This way, you will be having very clean regions in your production system. So India, I will be selecting this as the Andhra for time being. The reason the chemical is needed in this particular region. Select, okay, then department. which department is asking that item. So I will be selecting assembly buying, assembly department. So assembly department means the machine assembly department where they are looking for the chemical to fix that machine or to use that machine. So I will select done how much I am going to expect to be spent. Probably I will be sending, I want the currency to be, let it be INR. So I will be spending $50 in this requirement. I would like to save at least 5% or 7% of the saving to be achieved. That is my expected targeted saving, but the actuals may differ based on the quotations which we are receiving. So why we are requiring these chemicals? Project region. So that is what is the urgent requirement, trial purpose, renewal additional. Requirement, something like a new requirement. So it was not purchased earlier. Now we want to purchase it predecessor project. Before doing that, did they have conducted it yesterday? I have mentioned RFI and RFP, right? Suppose if I am creating an RFI based on an RFI, then I can select the predecessor project. What will happen if I select a predecessor project? I will be establishing a link between these two projects so that I can switch between these two projects easily from the overview section that we are going to see in a later slide. Owner, the person who is creating this request, becomes the owner of the document. Suppose you are creating for somebody else, you can put that owner name and his supervisor will be in the approval clause and other things. Currency, Indian rupee, commodity chemical. So let's select search more. Let's find out if there are any chemicals that are available THM. Some chemicals are there under IO 550. Under this indirect material services compounds. So I am selecting. This looks relevant. Execution strategy. How do I want my buyer to select? So I am going to say RFP. This is again only for reporting purpose. We should not do anything in the system. So this user has filled in the header values. Now he is selecting a relevant template. Let us select some good template. Okay, I'm selecting this. Click on create. Okay, what is that? I have created the project now. Sourcing request. In Ariba upstream, all event quotation also called as a project, that is by Ariba naming convention. So we don't need to worry that project means it's a bigger thing or anything. Okay, under the project now, what is the status? You have kept it in the document number. We generally don't need to remember because we can search the project by the name which we have given during the project creation. 125. 50,007%. If you want to make any corrections to these values, go to the Actions menu, click on Edit Overview. Then you should be able to make the changes. After you create the project, you can change it. However, remember you will not able to change the template. Once created using one template, it's not possible to change. So what is the solution for that? Then you have to delete the project and create a new project using the character template. So how do I know which template I have used for creating the sourcing request? When you click on template, questions. Here you were able to see the name of the template. Sourcing request 3rd July 2023, version 1. So this is the template. The template can be upgraded multiple times. At the time of creation, I am using the version 1 of the template when I click OK. As I mentioned, to correct it, you go to Action, click on Edit Overview, and you should able to change the details. Suppose you don't want, you have very mistakenly selected a wrong template, then you can click on Delete Project, then to delete this entire project. Once you delete it, it is not possible to retrieve back. So be careful. Once you delete any of the project, it's not possible to retrieve it back. Now go to the other section. So first let's go to the task. How many tasks are there in the sourcing request? Approval for the sourcing request, very simple ones. I click on approval. Before that, I will go to the document section. Copy of sourcing request. Let's see what is this. Click on open. Somebody has created line item. This is actually a wrong template, but anyway, let's complete. As for whatever it is there, select this task approval. We are saying ending I will select today. The approver has to approve. Who is that? My manager. This is Professor Sarasar has to approve it. Okay, once it is done, then sourcing department will be notified and they will be creating the sourcing project. However, due to the wrong template we have selected, this is not working as our expectation. What I'm going to do action now, I will not able to delete the project because once you perform any of the task which is under approval, then it's not possible to delete that particular task. Because once you delete it here already, an email will go to this user. When he tries to open, he will not able to find it. This will create a lot of confusion. Before you initiate any of the tasks, you have to take the decision. Now let's go back. I will be creating another project using proper template. So for that what I have to do, let's select sourcing request. Let's search. I want to find out the template which we have used in the past. Creation date this year, owner Vora Net12. I am going to search the projects I have created. I click for the search. These are all the projects created by Vora Net12 from the year so and so. And what is that? Sourcing request document. Demo date January 25. Let's click on open. Go to the documents. This is perfect. Sourcing request. Item sourcing project reference document. Clear. These are all the projects. Approval for the sourcing project. Very super so. I want to know what is the template name. Action edit overview. What is the template name? 7 sourcing template India 7G RN Net 12. Okay, remember this template. In screen, what I'm going to do is copy the project name. Okay, go to the home page. Now again, I'm creating a sourcing request. I want to show a good example. That's why I'm creating this again, sourcing a request. This time I'm going to copy. Sourcing request demo. Copy from projects, search others. Click on the project name, click search, select the project, then all the details have been filled for me from the previous template. There is a condition. We have put it in the template. That's why the template is not visible. Department R&D department. So this template is only visible for R&D department only. That is how I have designed it. Now I can able to find my template. Okay. So the reason can be anything. Andhra only will select it. Same thing, we will update the values. After copying, I am updating the values. I will be saving 7% for non-generic. This is used as well. Let's find that's not an issue. RFP. Okay. Do you want to copy the document that is project? Not required. Do you want to copy project group? That is also not required. Click on create. Now I am creating one more project and sourcing. Request demo. Click on create now. I'll go to the task. Now you see there are properly 3 tasks available. When I go to the document, I have sourcing request item where I need to fill the detail. Let's go to the task. What is the system is suggesting me prepare sourcing request. Yes, I will do that. So how do I do that? By selecting this option. Let's say, okay, mark started. When I mark started, the event will change from not started to in progress any one part of this team. When they open it, they know that, okay, Orinet Wall is preparing the sourcing request. They understand that someone is actioning an item, then they don't need to worry about it. That means if there is team of sourcing people, 5 people are there and there is a sourcing request pending, they will, when they open it, they know that, okay, this guy is working on this particular task. Now what is? System is suggesting prepare sourcing request. I'll go to Documents tab. I'll prepare the sourcing request item by clicking on Edit. What is that sourcing request item? What is that I want? What is the one is 3M? Click on OK. And then in the content section, I'm going to add the line item data. There are suppliers. If I know the supplier who can supply this item, I can add it or I will leave this leverage to the sourcing team to find out the supplier. Then click next. What is that I'm looking for? I can add that item by going to add select line item. Enter that item, so varnish. Varnish 3M matte commodity chemicals region you can select. Any region, I will select India. Response required from the supplier is yes. How much item I needed one instead of each. I will change to kg. Simple kg kilogram. How many 10 kilograms I wanted. Price. Maybe if I know the price I can enter, otherwise not required. This is something is showing, so you can ignore this. So when I want that item, I want this item by 28. Click on done. Click on next. Click on exit. So the requester has filled in the detail returned to the project. Then he will go to the task. Yes, he has done that activity. He will mark the task as completed. Please check team members. I will mark this. Okay. So what is that? Team member? When you go to the team member, these are all the groups available. Who is the buyer for this item? Who is category manager? Who is observer? Who is project owner? Who is sourcing agent? So I'll go to the action, edit my team member. So for time being, I will keep myself as the owner in Moranetwal. Sourcing agent is already determined. Click on OK. Now I will come back to the task. I have completed my team member activity as well. Now send this request for approval. So I will select this clock button. When you want this to be sent, I want today itself message. Please approve. This is your sending to the approval. Okay to your manager. I have prepared the item. Please approve. Who has to approve? Sourcing agent has to approve. When you click on sourcing agent, you will know who is the person who has to take the decision. Click on done. I will click on submit. Then this particular user. Who is that user? Professors RSA 95 will be receiving an email and he is going to take the action. Currently, I don't have permission to act as that particular user. So I have one more option for complete the task. When I do the first complete the task, system is approving on behalf of Professors RSA 93. Approved via email. click OK. Now, as soon as we approve, I get an option to create the sourcing project. Even when I go to the document, I would be seeing sourcing project creation option. Now the sourcing team is alerted and the sourcing team will start creating the project by clicking on Open Sourcing Project or click mark Started. The task is started now. He will go to Open Sourcing Project. Now from here, they will be taking the sourcing team, will be taking forward. Your sourcing request, clear any questions? So what is the activity we have done so far? We have created a sourcing request. And I have shown one more example, copying from an existing sourcing request, and then we created the sourcing request. We have completed 2 tasks. Preparing a sourcing request, verifying the team members, sending the request for the approval. Once it is approved, then the sourcing request will have a place to create the sourcing project. Then the sourcing team will be starting creation of the project from that option. By clicking that, it will take you to the sourcing project now. Sourcing team is creating the project. What is that they are creating? Varnish 3M, as I mentioned, they will. Selecting quick project for time being. First we will explore on the quick project. What is that we want to do? Request for pricing, because we know who are all going to supply the material. Request for proposal. All these other details under a region department baseline spend. These are all come from the sourcing request which I have created. Now I will be selecting the template Sanjay RFP 17 March 2025. Template. Click on create. You can select any template. So here you can build the rules, no envelope. So these are all the timing rules. So when I want, as soon as I click the publish button, I want my event to be started. 1 day will be available for my suppliers to respond. That is under the rules column you are going to configure. Let default rules. Let it as it is. We'll move to the next step again, the team members here. On and at all is the team member. I don't add any additional groups. If you want to add any groups, you can add it. What is the help it will do? It will help you access others to access your project when you are adding a group and assigning the members. The other people also can able to open your project. Click next. I will be adding 2 suppliers who can supply this 3M varnish. So I will go to the invite participants. Participants are nothing but suppliers here. I am going to search the supplier. Let's see if there is any supplier with 3M. So I am going to now, the results are showing based on and computer category. I am removing this region. Let's search if anything on the 3M. Removing this commodity now. I am searching for no supplier. With the 3M, I will search for any taste supplier or chemical supplier with the name chemicals. If anyone created a supplier with chemical name S chemicals, Stata chemicals are there. I am going to send mutation to both the suppliers. These 2 suppliers will be receiving a notification. Click next. So this is coming from your line item. Here I have added, if you remember, $50 10 kilogram, and all this is coming from your sourcing request. So I am going to remove these 2 items which is there coming from the template. Please refer our standard policies which it is not required, but the first time it applies, only I want to use it. So I'm going to remove simply. I'm keeping only the line item detail. Okay, even if you don't want any of these things, you can action, click on edit and make the changes. For time being, let it as it is. So 50 and 10, click on next. Another member in our organization has to approve before you submit it. There is one problem bidding rule for item 1. What is that? Select action, edit the content. We will determine. Actually, something wrongly configured in this item. That's why this issue is coming. Okay, now before I submit it, so someone in my organization has to approve it. Who has to approve it? Sourcing manager has to approve my quotation before I send it to the supplier. That's fine. So I am going to click on submit. Then now the event is ready to be published to the market on an approval of sourcing manager. I will click on view details. Pending publish approval. This project is pending approval. Click on action view publish awarded task. So this is I am acting on behalf of sourcing manager because I am part of the sourcing manager group. When I click sourcing manager, my login is I am part of the sourcing manager, then I do get an option to approve it. Sourcing project. Let's open the sourcing project. Inside the sourcing project, I can also approve this via dashboard also. I will show you that. By going to the home page, now I am acting as an approver. When I go to my main page, my task. What is the due date of the task under my task? I am selecting today, so these are all the tasks. At pending for today's due date, Varnish Chemical, approve sourcing request. Select this item open. Document. Sorry, this is the one I think sourcing request 31st, approve sourcing request. It will take you to the particular page. View approval tasks. Let's one more time. Let's give it a try. I should able to pick this item directly from my to-do task. My to-do task. Or I will go to to-do. To-do select my tasks and this due date is today. View task details. This is the other one. So what is the current one? Maybe I did not put the view date. Let's find out our project. Stop me if you see our project. I'm seeing Tammy Quezican new workflow as U4. They're going to undo reload the development. Some templates actually would be this is the project. This is correct one. Approve sourcing request. just completing the task of product. Thank you. Thank you. Please remember what is the task, project name. Let's go to my documents. The RFPM sourcing request demo is 21st. (3M) Renew publish approval. Yeah. I think it is taking time to trigger here. Otherwise, I should able to see the Varnish 3M project as well. So once I see that, then I can approve directly from here. Otherwise, the user will be receiving an email. By clicking the email, it will take you directly to the approval task. He can able to approve it. Finally, try one more way to do. Click on refresh. It should be part of my to-do. Only let's see if I am getting that. You call responses. What is responses? Anyway, so straight away I will go to view, publish approval task. I will click on approve. Click OK. Click OK now. The event will be kept open for suppliers to provide response. That will move now. Another 20. One day will be available for the suppliers to start bidding now. You can see the status 23 minutes. Who has these two suppliers will be receiving a notification and they can participate in the RFP. So I'll do that in tomorrow's session. Any questions? Whatever. Information is filled by the creating the source request like commodity and target saving. So all this information do we get from any department or we have to fill it by our own? No, we will not be creating it. It is all created by the users only. The buyers are the requesting department only. Ariba consultants will not do this work. So the other people, so for example, your responsibility is to find out prices for MacBook. That was your responsibility. So who is requesting? A user will be requesting. So that person has to provide you the specification. What is that? Which brand he wants to go. What is the specification when he wants that item? When he wants that item, does he wants warranty or without warranty, or does need any installation support? All these details has to be provided to you by the requester, the person who is requesting that material. He has to provide. Based on that, you approach to the market. So your role is to go to the market. That I am saying as a buyer in end user side, but in consultant area. So this system is ready now. So creation of a sourcing request. The project is ready. Creation of a sourcing project. The project is ready. Then the requesting department will create a sourcing request filling all the detail, whatever he has information. And the buying department, he will create the RAF for sourcing project and he will send it to the supplier. If they face any issue, then they will come to you, say, I want this region, but it is not available. Or he might say, this is which template I have to use, or I'm facing an issue. Whether I have to conduct, which template I have to select, I am facing an issue. I want to use auction, but that is not visible like that when it comes to. So you have to provide them the solution. Clear? Okay. So now the roles and responsibilities. As an end user, he will be preparing the sourcing request. As in a sourcing agent or the sourcing manager or the department of buying department, they will create sourcing project. Send the details to the supplier. Once the supplier response provided, they will send that information to the requesting department. Hey, these are all the prices. Where do you want to do? So then they will create a purchase order and they will send it to the supplier. Today's question is, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, so regarding templates, how we can decide like which template to be used and which is not, which is suitable. Yeah, so during when you're installing, arrive when your client you are going to inform. Okay, so your head, the technical head or the business head or the project manager, whoever super specialist, we can call any name, basically the user, the business user who has all this information, what is the current practices they are having. You are going to work with him and he is going to tell, hey, please create one template for let's say Andhra region and create another template for other than Andhra region. Or in other words, take one template for India local purchase, one template for import purchase. Other than India, where you want to bring it from other country, so local and import, then you are going to create two templates. In the template description, you can write it. Use this template to purchase within India. In the overseas template, you will mention, please use this template to bring suppliers outside India. Like that, you can provide a description. At the template name itself, you can give like sourcing request, template for India sourcing, request template for overseas or import, like that. So, whatever the name which currently they are following, accordingly, we can create the template name that will identify which template they have to use it. As I mentioned, in production system, you will not find like how many templates we are seeing. Here, so there are 40, 50 more than nowadays. Now 100 templates are there. In real time, you will only see one or two templates only, so it is easy to identify. Okay. And one more, Sanjay, like the name of which we were getting for approval. So how it is assigning from where it is coming? That we will come to know, okay. When we are creating the template, we can decide which is the user who has to compulsory to that. All we are going to touch the templates also, okay. during the time of how to create a task, whether the task is making mandatory or not making mandatory, how we can able to configure it. Sanjay, I think in my current company, this work is done by support team. As a consultant, we have someone who is sitting in US, who have access to core admin and admin. They are creating the templates actually. That's correct. So are you going to cover the template creation? Yeah, obviously. So this is as an end user only. So the template, all I'm going to show you, don't done. So you said that support consultant, right? Since already the project is implemented, support consultant, suppose it was not there existing, you are going to do very new. That's called implementation project. So in implementation project, you are going to discuss in detail, hey, currently I'm following this process. This is what I want in Ariba also. Then that other consultant will decide. So, okay, currently, okay, let's say one sum which we have timing. So your client is saying that, sir, we are using two processes, one India, this process, and for abroad one process. The consultant will explore whether we need to create two templates or we can achieve the same thing in one template itself. Why we need to differentiate any different template? As long as the process remains same, only the users are going to use it and simply going to create only one template for an RFP. In that I am going to cover it. You select the region if you are selecting Asia, India. If you are selecting other than India, it's a other country. So it is possible. In the field level itself, then I don't need any different template. That is one of the decisions. Now second decision. Then there are complex procedures for India purchase and import purchase. Let's say the same example. Business example, in one organization, if you want to purchase in India, it's straightforward. You can directly go ahead and place the purchase order with the supply. Then the supplier will deliver you because local transport and other things are easy. However, when you are purchasing from import, you need to take a permission from your excise department. So why they need to take it? Because when you are doing an import, you have to discuss on the insurance coverage, who will bear the risk when during the transport and who is going to clear from the customs, because this will require, it is not easy. You have to submit some proper licenses to the commercial team. They are going to apply for import license and they have to show all the justification registration. You should be having an account with your custom and you have to pay the custom duty, get the items cleared from the port and from their port to your local place. There are so much processes there. These are all you want to document in project creation itself. Suppose if it is a local purchase, first we have to take an approval from excess department and second we have to take permission from maybe a tax system where they will be paying the duties and charges, and all third with your logistic team to clear from the port and bring it to your material. After that only we'll place another. So here there are two different scenarios. If I'm selecting region as India, I should not show all the tasks, but when I'm selecting other than India, or so many tasks are coming. So instead of having this complex scenario in one template, maybe I will suggest, okay, let's go ahead and create two templates. This is one clear example where the process is different. For one type of H and another type of H, you are creating two templates. Now let us take the same example. Okay, what item you are purchasing is some kind of a cloth or something where there is no problem. You are paying all the DDU delivery duty paid onto your shipment. You are using Amazon or some e-commerce site. So they are going to import, they are going to pay all the charges, they are going to deliver to you. There is no, you are not worried about all the custom clearances and other things because You are paying the tax and it is legally allowed and you have a transport company negotiated. Responsibilities are very limited here. So even if you purchase from Bombay, no matter, or if you're purchasing from Europe, no matter, because you place the order with the supplier and supplier will take care of all the charges. Maybe they might be having the agents here. They will do the customs clearance and other part and they will deliver it to you. Your responsibility is to receive the material only once you place a purchase order. Then you don't need it. Two different templates. Sanjeev, one more question, yeah. Sanjay, like yesterday, we discussed delegation authority, right? Correct. So while delegation process, we switch to the downstream side, right? Correct. For the core administration. So is it not available for the sourcing people? No, suppose no. No sourcing people also available. I will show you architecture. So suppose you're having an environment like what we are seeing in our processes RSA. Okay. When you're having an environment called FPC process, Federated Process Control, where you're having parent and child, you are going to access the delegation of authority from child. Or user administration is available under core administration. I don't say child downstream. And then you are going to access user manager. Suppose you are having only parent. There is no child. So what is the parent? Or instead of that, I will say sourcing only. I don't have no buying. And invoicing or no downstream. In simple words, both the words are same, only in that scenario. You are going to access user manager directly from admin itself. Now the question comes delegation of authority, mostly used when you have PR approval and purchase. Requisition approval, that is the time we use it. Otherwise it is available directly under administration. When you are having admin and core admin, then user management is available. Only under core admin. Okay, this may be the right answer if you are having only administration. Then user manager will be available in admin area only when you are having admin and core admin. Then user manager is available from for admin. Clear? Yeah, I guess the Ariba architecture actually. So when you're having an upstream, one process only, but when you're having both upstream and downstream, user management is available in your core admin. Okay? Okay, why they do? It is a big topic. That's why I don't want to get into this one. So why do they do activity? When you're having suite integration, where you are having both upstream and downstream, okay, then the data is shared between two realms or two realms. That means you are going to integrate your ERP with child system only. Nowhere you are going to integrate your ERP with the parent system. That means when I am saying procurement system, because pure PR creation, everything happened in child system. In this scenario, when you are sending the master data, you are going to send the master data from ERP to the child system, which is nothing but downstream. Then that user is available in both parent and child. What does it mean? Suppose if I am having integrated when I send user data or supply data to my child system, automatically this information will be available in upstream also. For example, I'm integrating my suppliers from ERP to child system. Then the same supplier will be available in parent sourcing contract and supply management. Because we have taken a speed subscription is shared across all the RIMs simultaneously. This is at the high level. Once we were explored on all the ADIBA, then you will understand much better. It is time being. You can ignore in the simple logic this one. Only when your client is having only administration, then delegation of authority will be available under admin when our client is having both administration and core administration. Then this is available from core administration. So how we can search a template? That is one thing. And second is once you copy from project, if you select, suppose if you want to change the template, that's your question, right? Yeah, so manage OK. Suppose you want to look at all the templates related to sourcing request by selecting the document type, OK, sourcing request. When you click this search button, so when you're in a home page, when you click this one sourcing request, whatever the template you are looking for, select document type or template type, then click on magnifier. So in the options on the right hand side where you see projects and the templates, suppose by default it is projects. When you're looking for the projects created or sourcing request, all the projects will display. Suppose you want to look at the templates available for sourcing request. Select sourcing request, select options and then select template. Display only templates. And then click search by removing all the filters here. So currently there are no filters available here. So we did not select any creation date owner. Nothing is available. So these are all the templates available in Ariba. So this is one place where you can able to open all the templates. And second question, suppose now I am going to create a full sourcing project. Just a demo earlier we have created a sourcing request. On approval of the sourcing request, we have seen creation of a sourcing project. Now I am going to create without any reference to the sourcing request. When I click sourcing project, create sourcing project, let's say demo processing project Sanjay 25 for March 25. Here when you select copy from project, for example, I am selecting one project from here, then automatically the next of the things. So quick project auction rupees everything has been copied including the template. Now, however, I want these values, but I want to select a different template. So unfortunately, we don't have the option because we selected that will follow the template also. If you want to override, select as a no value or remove the template which you have clicked on. Copy from project. Now the values remain same. The field values remain same. Now you will able to select any other general template based on whatever the field values we have selected here. You can override these field values by selecting a different value, or you can continue by selecting a different template also. Is that clear? Yes, thank you. Yeah. Now let's create one quick project. So what is the quick project? So in quick project, we need to select the event also. So what is the event I am going to select? RFP, auction forward action. We have discussed about what is an RFI, what is an RFP, what is an auction. So request for information. The main objective in RFI is requesting for information whether the supplier will be able to supply as per our requirement or not. RFP means request for proposal. At this stage, we are going to collect pricing information from the supplier. The third option, competitive bidding, where the supplier will be able to know what is their ranking, whether they are in a level 1, level 2, level 3. So level 1, level 2, level 3 means highest bidder or lowest or second lowest. So it will give them whether they are competing or they are leading in an event or not. That can be visible in auction format. Forward auction, if you want to sell any inventory or excess inventory. Our main objective in procurement is to purchase something. However, I have some stocks, excess stocks. We have purchased but we are not using, or we have a machinery that becomes obsolete. We want to sell. Then we can use forward action. Okay. Now I'll be selecting RFP for the current example. Test project. Whether we are creating as a test project, not a test. When I say yes, as I mentioned, you can able to eliminate this project from reporting time. So you can also select, I don't want test projects to be included in my report. Then those reports will be having only the non-test projects. Non-test project means production related, I mean the live projects. Remember all the quotations, also called contracts or supply registration. Everything is called as a projects in Ariba. So don't think that it is a big job or something. So it's a nominate. The naming convention which Ariba is using is projects. Okay, we have seen how to search the different values. By going to the add more, you can able to search for multiple values. Now I will be selecting one template Sanjay RFP 17th March 2025. Please use this RFP to create a quick event. Let's select this one. Click on create. So do you allow? Okay, let's discuss about this thing. When we are creating an event, quick event, there are 5 steps needs to be completed. What are all the 5 steps? Rules. Here you are going to configure your bidding rules. When you want the event to be kept open, how long you want to allow the suppliers to provide. The responses, whether the supplier, the owner or the document owner, can he see the prices? Before event closes, all those rules are configured under rule section second teams. So what is team? Whom you want to give access to this particular project, that is decided at the team whether you want to allow supervisors to see or you want to allow your colleagues to see, you have to add them to the team members, and then you control the visibility of the documents only to the team members, the suppliers. In supplier section, you are going to add the suppliers which are all the suppliers you want to invite to the RFP that you are going to use under suppliers. Supplier. Fourth is content. Content is nothing but what is that information you are collecting from the supplier. Probably you will be asking a line item or you might be asking a question. So what is the question? Whether they have an ISO certification or not, that is a question. And the second item, I will be asking price for a commodity. For example, I am looking for a computers. So I will add the computer. What is the price? How much quantity? When I required? That I will be adding under content section. The last one is summary. Summary is just to before you publish the event to the market. You want to understand whether whatever you have created is correct or not. One revision that you will be able to finalize before publishing. Let's complete 4 rows. We don't explore much now because at the template configuration, we are going to discuss in individually. Let's high level, we will discuss. Response start date. So when I want my suppliers to start responding to the event, as soon as I click publish button on the summary page, when I go to the 5th page, when I click publish button, I want my suppliers to start responding. How much time do you want to allow the supplier? Due date. So I'll be keeping 1 day. You have options minutes, hours, days. You can able to keep it. Generally, RFPs will go for a couple of days. Maximum 3 to 4 or maximum 1 week. More than that, you will not be good. The express for information might go for 5 days or 6 days, also because they have to find out and they have to get back. Auctions will run within minutes only. It won't continue more than hours also. Few hours or few minutes auctions will get completed. So I am keeping 1 day. So until tomorrow 18 fun through, the event will be kept to open. Okay, I click next. At this stage, the project owner, the person who is creating, the event becomes the project owner. I'm going to add additional group. So I'm going to call this as a sourcing supervisor. I am going to click OK. So I am adding my supervisor into the team. Supervisor name, let's say Urana. Urana 20 is my supervisor. However, I am not giving him any permission. So this Urana 20, if he has system permission, he can able to do that. But if he don't have a system permission, then I can go to this particular group sourcing supervisor. Assign what is the system role. System role is nothing, but you are giving a permission. So I will be giving him sourcing manager role. Click on OK. Click OK. Now our A20 has been granted sourcing manager role, and this permission is only applicable for this document only. Suppose if I assign supply sourcing manager role to him at the system level, he will able to open all the sourcing event. But I want only for this particular project. I am assigning him as a supervisor by giving the permission in the role section. That's how you add the team members. Click on next. Now you are going to select the suppliers whom you want to send this RFP. By clicking on invite participants, I do have a search option based on region, commodity, which is getting defaulted from the header values I have selected. When I click search all the supplier who has associated with this commodity and this region will be displayed. Since I don't have any values, I can remove this filter or I can click on reset. Then these two values will be removed. When I click search now, I don't have any filters. So all the suppliers will be shown to me. Okay. Now there are 628 suppliers are available. Suppose I want to select this supplier. Select whatever the supplier you want to select. Then come down, click OK. That supplier will be added. This is one method. I want to add one more supplier by clicking on invite another participant. We have seen adding a supplier from the search menu instead of this. I want to select supplier from past event. I have created a similar event in the past. I want to select that particular event and take the suppliers from that. How you can do that? You go to the search by change the option to past events. When I click search past events, what type of events I am looking for? I will be knowing that RFP. I know the event was created yesterday. Or you can choose the values also, or if you know the title of the project, let's say Sanjay. I don't put the creation date. I know RFP, all the projects which are created with the name Sanjay, that is of RFP, will be visible to me. Then I can able to select the project. Let's say Demo Sanjay. 9th July. Select in this RFP whatever the suppliers are available. By selecting the top row field, I will be able to select all the contacts, or if I want to select it, only then I can remove whatever not required. So let's say I'm adding these two suppliers. Click select. Then that supplier also added. Now 2 suppliers plus 2 suppliers, and I don't have a supplier in my search window. When I go to invite another participant, I don't have that supplier I'm looking for. Del. Okay. Del research. Okay. I don't find a supplier here. With the search of Dell, I got some suppliers, but I know that these are all the not suppliers. So what the supplier is looking for, he is not available in this particular group. What I can able to do, click on create new supplier. This option is only available from sourcing only. When I click create new supplier, a form will be created. Sorry, form will be presented. You need to fill this form. So this is your supplier creation. Supplier request form. Here you will enter the name of the supplier, address, contact details category. Once you click submit, it will go for supplier request manager once he approves that supplier. You can add to your event also, so that is possible via sourcing. Suppose I have a company called. Let's invite another participant. This is one scenario. Now I have click reset with such. Okay, now let's say this is the organization name. I have 2 people inside of it. Gupta Saurabh Gupta. Okay, however, somebody else has approached me from AV Private Limited. He said he is from AV Private Limited. He is working for another division. This is sales division. This is technical division. He is coming from a spare parts. Okay, I want to send the quotation to him, but however I don't have the contact available here. If I send, I can only send to these 2 people, only will receive the quotation response request. So then I can create new participant. Then I add the details of the participant and the organization I am going to. Select AV Private something. What is that? AV Private Limited. When I do this, this contact will be added. Then that supplier, I can send it user ID. Let's say I'm going to send it to Vivek first name. Username should be Vivek at Evin, last name Vivek Varma. Phone number same. I will be even. Vivek at Avian. Sorry at Mark. Vike at Avian. And Tok. So on the go, you can add a supplier contact. Mostly supplier contact does not require any approval. So as soon as you contact, add it to that organization, you can invite to him. So invite another participant. Yeah, I think this is added now. So 2 suppliers, we added first. Second, Vivek Varma has been added under AV Private Limiter. Next time, if anyone is searching this name, will be available to add it into the event. So that is how you can add supplier. Multiple ways you can create a new supplier. You can create a new participant. You can search the suppliers from the past history, or you can use the generic supplier master search. You can add those suppliers into the system. These are at the header level. Header level, I have included how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 people I have included. Now I will go to the next. These 2 values are coming from the template. So this is copy it from the template, which is asking please refer our standard policies before participating in the event. It has given some reference introduction. We have established something. It is there if I want. to continue. I can leave it as it is. If I don't want this to be communicated, I will delete it. So the option is available for the buyer. Now, here I am going to add. What is that I want to add? I want to ask first one question. Also add a question. Do you have ISO certification? What is the answer I am expecting? Yes or no? Okay. If response is required, yes, supplier has to provide response to this. Participant can add additional comments. Attachment. Mean yes. Suppose someone is saying yes, if you want to attach the certification, he can add also. I will select done. So I am asking him and now I am adding line item. Line item is where I am collecting the information from the supplier. Let's say MacBook. What is the commodity it belongs to? I should be selecting computers. The reason you can ignore or I will say Andra again. Response is required. Yes, I want the response from the supplier. How many quantities? 10 quantities I want. I know earlier I have purchased it for say 2500 US dollars. This term 2400. I want to pay maximum if this you cannot decide. Also suppose the price has not reduced. You will not able to purchase this. You can enter 2500 also, but you are not expecting any say. Savings here suppose generally our target, the sourcing agent's target is to try to achieve saving if they found, don't know, the price is reduced little bit or you have found a new supplier who can supply a reduced price, you can enter that price. Otherwise, you can leave as it is. So this will give you an indication for how much savings you are getting. It actually something wrongly configured. We shouldn't be seeing this one. This is related to auction type. But anyway, so not a problem. I will just go by whatever mentioned, bit decrements and all will come during actions only I have selected some wrong behavior. It is happening. Leave it as this now. The question MacBook. So I am going to ask from all these 5 vendors, however, ISO certification. Here edit. I want to ask only from I know okay. Oh sorry, only the line item is giving up. I will add one more line item. Add line item. I will be adding iPhone. Same commodity something 5 quantities. So US dollars 1000 US dollars. You call bit incremented. However, this iPhone, I know that it is not available from this supplier. SSS4 company, it is not available. I can able to remove now. iPhone will only be visible to these 4 suppliers by clicking done. That way, you can able to restrict line item availability to the supplier. Now, when I go to the action first, I am acting as a SSO. Why is that SD company? So the SSD company is going to see ISO certification and 9000 only, but he will not see the Apple because he is not supplying it. However, for other supplier, but I think I have reversed the wording. So if I go for another supply DG demo this. Supplier will be able to see both the items MacBook and iPhone because I have included him for the response. That way you can able to limit the suppliers at the line item level also possible. Now I am going to go ahead and publish this item. So now 4 activities have been completed. Click. Here system giving you an option to revisit all the details which you have asked. If it is okay, then you can go ahead and publish. But before submitting the system is saying you have an approval tasker published. So who is the approver? Sourcing manager is the approver. So all this is a system level permission. So all these persons can approve my publishing order. So I will say click done. Click exit. Demo sourcing projects on data on defense. Click on survey. Now that approver will be receiving an email notification. Once he approves, my event will be published to the market. I'll click on view details. Pending publish approval. Since I have an access to that, when I click view publish approval task, it gives me option to approve or deny, or when I go to the approval flow sourcing manager, he is active, so he has to take a decision. Approval task only gives two options, either approve or deny. Until this is approved, you will not able to publish the event. So basically the sourcing manager, once we get it, he will open the event. He will go through the details like this. He will verify all the information. If he finds okay, then he will go and approve it. I exit. Since I have a sourcing manager, I do also get option under my task. By going to the manage, click on my task. Okay, here are all the tasks available for my. Sorry, here are the tasks which I am having for approval. Say demo sourcing project Sanjay 25th March 2025. When I expand it, it is saying approval for publish in approval. When I select this option, I can approve directly from here also. Approve it, click OK. Now event has been approved. Now when I open this particular project, same project, when I click the project, name it, takes you to the project page. It is open for 23 hours 59 minutes, that is until tomorrow. The event is available. All these people will be receiving a notification. They have to provide the response. Now let's act as one of the person and then see as a supplier. I am selecting contact name DG Demo Test Supplier 1. We do have an option to act as a supplier. How manage administration? This is generally not given it to normal users. It is only given to the administrator. So, administrator can act as a supplier and he can check. Also, we should in the real time. We shouldn't be doing this only for the demo purpose because I don't have a credentials for this supplier. I am doing this action generally. This action was provided to verify the information from the supplier side, whether event is available or not only, but we shouldn't be taking any action. On behalf of supplier, now I will act as the supplier. So here all the events open. Event. So open event means these are all the completed events. This is open event. This is pending selection. So now by now you are aware what is this. Status is completed means we have completed the sourcing activity. Open means currently. Sourcing is event in opening. For supplier response, pending selection mean these events have been completed but not awarded. So currently I am opening the open source project review prerequisites. I am accepting the terms we are doing as a supplier. Once he accepts the term, he is asking you to sell. What are the lots you want to provide? Your response. Basically MacBook and phone. I will be selecting MacBook by default. It is already. Come from selected, then click on MacBook. So it's saying it's already this one was provided. Let's see what is that. I think this is something issue here. Yeah, as I mentioned, this was confided. Let us understand that he is providing the responses. For MacBook on iPhone, submits the response. Thank you. Okay, so let's go to our project. By going to the recent, I can able to open the project now as a buyer. I am going to look at the details. When I go to the content, you can see this supplier has provided response. These are all the suppliers. One supplier has participated once. Tomorrow, the time is over. Then we are going into the awarding scenario. However, in this example, I was not able to enter correctly. There is some error here that let me fix it. So this is how an event will be sent to the supplier, and after supplier provides the response, then you can close this event early. By going to the actions, click on cancel event. Actually, this is also wrong. You will be provided with few more options. Reduce the timing, stop the event cancel. The event cancel means if there is something wrong, then you have to going to cancel it. If stop means you are pre-ending the time, so until suppose all the 5 suppliers have provided the response. You can nearly close the event by clicking and stop, reducing the timing. Suppose you want to reduce the timing. So instead of tomorrow, we want to close by today. You can update it. At each stage, the supplier will be notified and supplier has to provide the responses. Clear any questions? Hi Sanjay. Yes, I have one question. So when you created like the participant or the supplier, right? So do we have any option for any bulk creation? No, with the user interface, there is no bulk option available. I don't think you can able to do that bulk option. The only you can do is entire event can be created bulk option. So what will happen? You have to add all the suppliers in Excel file, and once you load it, then all the suppliers will be there. So if you're asking that you want to create a bulk supply like 50, then that is another place where you have to do that. That's SM administration. That we are going to talk in supplier. SLP module. I'm going to discuss about it. Okay. So that's a separate thing. But from this project, we cannot create it, right? We can create only one at a time. No, what you have to do, mostly the supplier creation will be with SLP tips or supplier relationship tip you have to provide the details to them, and they are going to upload the detail and then you can use it. Okay. So your requirement is you have a high number of list that supplier you want to select, or you want to create new suppliers, bulk suppliers. Create bulk suppliers. Sorry, creating bulk supplier will come in SLP module only, not via sourcing event. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, welcome. Any other question? What is the difference between create new supplier and create new participant? Create new supplier means you are going to create the supplier itself. Participants means you have the supplier, the salesman. You are going to create a new salesman. Suppose let's say Dell company, that is your supplier. In Dell there are 2 salesmen. That is what it is showing in your system. But somebody else also approached to you. He is saying that he is responsible for another commodity which is not there in your system. Then you are adding that new salesman. That's called new participant. In simple term, if you want to add a participant, you have to have a vendor name. Okay, if you don't have a vendor name, then you have to create new supplier. Clear? Does it mean that it's a contact? Yes, exactly, a supplier contact. Okay, so RU suppliers are called participants. Okay, so whatever you see the participant, that is nothing. But supplier create new participants. Your supplier contact is your adding. Create parties. Create supplier means you are creating a new supplier record. So I have a question now like, so the supplier name can be same, but the participant name can be different, right? Obviously, yeah, because in supplier only not one person and there will be many salesmen. So who are going to provide as a response? Okay, got it. So let's take an example. So you want to purchase some chemical in the market. So when you go to there will be same company located in multiple places. Okay, so each person, the company name remains same only, but you want to approach to the correct salesman. So that salesman is nothing but supplier contact that we are adding it. Or even in simple words, his email address is the difference one. He belongs to the one organization, but his email address is different. When we send it to him, he is going to respond to our event. There are situations where all the contacts of the supplier will be invited. Then the responsible person will respond to you. So that is also possible when you add a full supplier. Suppose in that supplier, there are 5 participants. Are there all these 5 people will be notified? Whoever responsible for that commodity, they are going to provide you the response. Okay, now let's explore few things on the dashboard. You can quickly open events via these tiles. Now you can see event status, draft status, how many events are there. When you go here, double click that it will take you to the OK. Select the number. It will take you to the, I think this image, it will take you to the records, 13 records when I go back. This is one method opening your events. Then there is a clear table, that is very full dashboard table. That is in. We will be available in sync tab, or you can available in home tape page event status. This is available specifically for sourcing. You can see different type of events, RFI, survey, forward action. Under what status? Under open event. How many RFI open? How many RFPs and how many options? How many under pending? Select. How many under completed? Suppose when I select, my RFP is open until tomorrow. So when I select this 27, I should able to see my event under the 27 records. I should be having that. This is also one of the way you are accessing your report 27. So I can choose this table options. I can go to, or these are all the fields available. The bid guys, starting date, bid ended, something like that. Whatever it is there, I am going to start by owner. So then I will be having Oran at well. You could see my project is available here. Or here in the filter, I can add further from this 27. I can add order as a 4 and 8012 and creation. Date as it today, then I will only face the record available so that you can go back. You can also see this under your My Document. This is My Documents where to create the project. So you will available under here also. Either you can go here and open from here or open from Where is this home page? You can also open from here or you can open from recent. So many places we have. So you can open anywhere from the dashboard. So we'll discuss tomorrow creation of a full project. So we have seen creation of a quick event today. Tomorrow we are going to look at creation of a full project. And finally, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel.